Yes, Jim.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a bonus X-Marks the Spot with me, your host, Richter Hammer. Last night we were doing the SummerSlam stuff and had some awards there, but this time we are going to be talking about the NXT Brooklyn, or NXT Takeover Brooklyn, I guess as it's called, event that they had a week before that, or the day before SummerSlam. So, as per usual, we have Chriz, a.k.a. The Mole.
Hello, Richter.
And Marcus Shadow.
What's up?
And Jim Phoenix.
Hello.
So, did anyone have any awards?
I had two.
Okay.
I have two.
I still have two more from Raw that I did not give.
Okay. So we will go through those first. So with your first award, take it away, Jim.
Always me first. All right.
Okay.
Again, I don't have catchy titles tonight. I couldn't come up with anything. I was not doing well on that. But my first award is for WWE currently filing and dealing with an international lawsuit against some of their international television partners for not paying their rights fees. Apparently, they have filed a lawsuit against CTH, the television partner that broadcasts WWE in Thailand and Malaysia, for not paying the rights fees. Apparently, they had a 5-year deal for 2014 through 2018 for Raw, SmackDown, Main Event, NXT, Superstars, Bottom Line, Vintage Collection, After Run, This Week, WWE, and all pay-per-view events. The annual rights fees were to escalate, starting at $2.8 million, and working in 2014, working up to $6.83 million in 2018. For a total value over the 6-year period of $23.5 million. So apparently we're going to see how that plays out. It is worth noting that the contract states that Raw must be 3 hours to the end of 2018 based on the international contracts. So they probably won't change that, or would have to do drastic changes to it if they were to shorten Raw. Again, although that doesn't seem like that happen right now. But yeah, so there's some issues going on with the contracts in Thailand and Malaysia.
Doesn't that also mean that those countries wouldn't have the WWE Network?
You would think.
Because the reason NXT was taken off TV here and we got Main Event instead was because of the contracts that TV networks sign. It gives them exclusive rights to air it in that country, which means it would affect the network.
True.
Yeah, I thought it was quite informative of me.
That was quite informative of you. Thank you.
Back to our lovely host.
Right. It'll be interesting to see what comes of that.
All right, then, Marcus, your first award.
All right, my first award, I call it the Twist of Fate Award. And both of these awards, by the way, again, as I said, are from Raw last week. And it's the Twist of Fate Award, which goes to Randy Orton, where he attempts to RKO Kevin Owens, only to get countered and pushed toward recovering Sheamus, who probably gets RKO'd for the loss. I thought that exchange was really well done, and it was really organic and fluid. It was like, okay then, yeah, Sheamus, you got fucked. But yeah, I thought that looked really cool.
Nice.
Back to the Hammer.
Fair enough.
All right, Mole, your first award.
My
First
first
award,
award.
Oh, I thought. Sorry, I thought Mole started. Never mind.
Oh.
Because I thought you started yourself, but Mole didn't start. I started.
Yeah, you started, and then you made the joke of ha 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 ha, it's always me, and Richter said, no, it's not always you. And then silence as you ignored him and carried on reading.
I didn't hear him say that.
That's like every week.
I remember. I'm paying attention to our podcast, but my number one award: eat, sleep, have no kids, repeat.
Yes.
And that was for Undertaker again showing up and low-blowing Brock Lesnar.
Ouch.
He did it again, so yeah, have no kids, repeat. Have no kids, repeat.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Which, yeah, that looked painful.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because being kicked in the nuts, well, it doesn't tickle.
No, not particularly.
I assume this was from Raw last week.
Yes.
Okay.
Undertaker was on Raw this week.
This
Fair
is
enough.
fair.
All right, well, I didn't know if they showed up at SmackDown or something.
Yeah, that was from the end of Raw.
Fair enough.
So back to the tower.
Ave Tower.
All right. My first and only award for this one is the Aha Award for on NXT Takeover. They showed, they had some people in the crowd that, like, oh, look, here's Ric Flair. And they had Seth Rollins, and he's sitting next to someone. I'm like, isn't that the lady from the pictures with his penis and stuff? Like, I see what's going on here. So I just wanted to make fun of that.
I also found it funny that Seth Rollins had to buy a ticket. I'm like, you're the WWE champion. Why the fuck did you have to buy a ticket?
Who says he bought it? He might have been given a ticket.
Still, but why did you need a
that-
ticket in the first place?
There was that cutscene where
So he can stand up and wave it around to distract somebody in the match.
Yeah.
It's so he can be in the crowd, so the camera zooms in, and you're like, oh yeah, that person. Like they normally have famous wrestlers in the crowd.
True.
Like the event that we're going to talk about in a short while here that had 3 of them.
Like for example, that bit Richter just mentioned of Seth Rollins. That makes NXT look a lot more serious if it zooms in on the crowd and there's the main champion like paying the fuck attention to what's going on here.
True.
And a fan of this business. That's kind of cool.
Well, it makes sense because he's now the man and they're now the future. So he's got to watch for them coming after him.
It's true.
Fair enough.
All right. So, Jim, your second award?
Oh, I had debating as to what to make this other award because there are a couple of good things, but I figure I will give props where props are due because this does deserve to be mentioned because this is pretty awesome. This award is 500 and counting because John Cena has hit a new record for granting 500 Make-A-Wishes to sick kids, and that's awesome.
Nice.
That is now mind you that is like 300 above the next person on the list. He broke the record back at like 300, but still, that was. Yes,
when you says that's a fake record, and it's all leading to next time he goes to do it, Brock Lesnar will interfere, F5 him, and break the streak. I'm kidding. It's props where props is due with that.
Yeah, that was cool. And another celebrity's done as many wishes as Cena, and not only has he done the wish granting, but he regularly goes above and beyond to support the mission of the company. He's personally donated more than 6 million airline miles for wishes involving travel. He's hosted parties for Wish Kids at WrestleMania and has served as a Wish ambassador at speaking engagements. He was also the recipient of the Chris Greasiest Celebrity Award, which Make-A-Wish awarded to him in 2009. And in 2012, he also got an award when he hit the 300th, which was also a milestone.
Nice.
So that's...
And let's not forget all the charity he did by giving his ex-wife half his money.
Mm-hmm.
That too.
That's pretty generous of him.
It is. Although
He has all that fuck you Fruity Pebbles money.
Yeah. But I will say, as much as I think it's kind of awesome that, okay, they just got this whole award, this is pretty cool, it kind of takes a little bit of the prestige away when you get to the next, and it notes, WWE and Make-A-Wish joined together to host a party Friday, August 22nd at a Dave & Buster's in New York City.
Maybe he wants to play the games.
Apparently he wants to play the games, yeah. Although,
play combo.
Okay, I guess it does make sense because they did know that. Yeah, okay. Stephanie was there, the Bellas, Sheamus, and a few others, but also a bunch of Wish kids and their families were there. So it's probably so the kids could play the games. I guess that does make sense.
Oh, because now adults don't play games. You're invalidating mine and Richter's review philosophy.
True, but let's be honest here. You regularly hang out with a giant game-playing woman child.
That's not true. Crispy's not around that often.
Nice.
Poor Crispy.
I'm sorry. We here at the X-Band do not condone calling Pew a woman.
Fair enough, my knowledge.
Crispy helped you unlock Jill, and that's how you thank him. Curse your sudden and inevitable betrayal.
It's cool. I validate him when he's in disguise as you.
That's true.
That is true.
What do you mean sudden and inevitable betrayal? This is the same guy who whacked Crispy over the head with a golf club.
Yes.
But unlike Jericho, he didn't see it coming.
Exactly.
True.
It really was out of nowhere.
It was.
Trend setting.
I was.
Hashtag golf club out of nowhere.
Indeed. But yeah, nice job to John Cena, and as John Cena said, he's happy to do it, and he's looking forward to doing 500 more.
Nice.
Back to him.
All right, Marcus, your second word?
That's horrible. You should look
Why?
forward to curing cancer so he never has to do more.
That too.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he's like, I want another award. Bastard, you evil prick. You have one wish. You don't wish for that. 500 more kids with cancer. No, you wish for a cure.
And now we know why everyone's turning on Cena. All of a sudden, Raw makes sense.
People always turn on Cena. It fluctuates.
That's kind of their thing that they do.
But yeah, my second and final award for the night. No catchy title, really. I just call it the Fuck You Minneapolis Award. And that goes to the Minneapolis crowd for chanting, "We want Lesnar, we want Lesnar," during the Divas match. I'm like, fuck you, respect the Divas. I get that Brock is from Minneapolis, but fuck you, chant it during like another superstar match or something, or chant it appropriately when it's, about time for Brock to come out. Don't just completely invalidate the Divas match by starting chanting that. No, fuck that.
To be fair, they did chant it during other superstars matches. They chanted it during multiple matches.
Because I didn't hear it. I didn't really hear it until like the Divas match. I'm like, are they chanting "We want Lesnar"? I'm like, come on, this is a great Divas match. It's probably one of the best matches of the night, and you're doing this? Fuck you.
Oh, it was a good match. I'm just saying that they did chant it during other parts and all throughout the night because they really wanted Brock.
They did.
It's fine, but you don't. I don't know. I just saw that as being disrespectful to the Divas to do that.
It is, but what would you expect from the crowd?
Yeah, I completely agree it's disrespectful to Divas. I was just making the case of, because you said, well, it'd be okay if they had done it to other people, and they'd done it all night to other superstars. So at least they treated the Divas equally with the superstars.
Yeah. I would say chant it between the matches. Don't chant it during any of the matches. Respect all the people who are coming out there, putting their lives on the line to entertain you ungrateful pieces of shit.
In all fairness, though, that happens with hometown heroes all the time. They get chanted through the whole night at random intervals. It just happened to be during the Divas match.
Yeah, but depending on who it is, sometimes the chants make sense. Like, for instance, with Daniel Bryan, yes, chants break out randomly even when he's not expected to be there. So it kind of works. Or, like,
Yeah, but the Seattle crowd have also done it during Divas matches. If we want Bryan...
See, that's not
during tag team championships. They do it during all of them.
Yeah. At least, and give the Minneapolis crowd credit that they were just chanting for their hometown superstar they wanted to see. They weren't like that. I don't remember where the fuck they were, but that one crowd that decided during the Divas match they're gonna chant about who the Divas are all giving blowjobs to.
Yeah, the post WrestleMania crowd.
Yeah.
And during the Divas match as well, they also chanted for the Divas louder than they had some of the guys, and they were also doing the chants of the Divas, like, this is Paige's house, and like her boss, and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I know we're not supposed to reference it, but even tonight when the Bellas and PCB were having a match, the crowd kept going into "We want Sasha."
Fair
as
enough.
long as they don't say ring rat.
Apparently, yeah.
Fair enough.
Back to the Ivory Tower.
All right, Mole, your second word?
Okay, the title of this is a little, I don't know what you'd call it, complex. I don't think everyone will get it.
Okay.
It says First America, Next the World. Now what I've done is I've hilariously removed the E from the word next, thus making NXT.
That's clever.
It's complex. Not many people will get that.
Oh!
Because no one's ever used NXT in that capacity before. But Triple H tweeted, "The evolution of at WWE NXT continues as we cross the Atlantic for a tour of the UK, December 10th to December 16th. Hashtag stay tuned. Hashtag we are NXT." And then he had a picture of the logo, which looks pretty fucking cool with the British flag and stuff. That was pretty cool with the Union flag.
I thought that was the UK flag and not the British flag. You've gone on about that before.
No, I've gone about the fact England's flag is different. UK or Great Britain have one flag that unites Britain.
Ah, okay.
And he said it's a tour of the UK, so it's going to Scotland and stuff too. The British flag makes sense. If this had been a tour of England and it'd been just the British flag, not St. George's Cross, then it would have been wrong.
Fair enough.
Also, Union flag.
Indeed.
Boom. But yeah, December 10th, just a few days after my birthday. Woo.
Yeah.
I think we know what Mole's birthday present's going to be.
Well, I think Darth Maul will be out then for Disney Infinity.
Ha! Nice.
And they're
I'm
both
kidding.
going to watch the WWE Network for only $9.99.
Yeah, you will be watching the WWE Network. Because when it says UK, Jim, I don't know where the fuck in the UK those dates are. It could be all the way down in London. I'm not going all the way down to London. It takes me like hours and hours and like hundreds of pounds to get down there. No.
There's parts of England that aren't London?
Yeah, which means if it's like the next city over, like Manchester, maybe I'd go. If it's next city over of Liverpool, no. Thank you.
Nice.
But yes.
That must be the Tacoma of Great Britain.
It's the
Thank you.
cesspool of Britain.
Oh man, it's like they're Newark.
It is. It's like our Jersey. And then I smile at Rick with a look of, yeah, I said it.
You know what's even better? There's a bad part of Jersey.
There you go.
What's
Where
surprising is there's a good part of Jersey.
Yeah.
Only because I've only ever
not in
seen
Newark.
Jersey Shore, and I'm like, what the hell's wrong with this place?
The city's so bad the freeway doesn't even want to be in it.
Yeah, which I know from experience, not all of Jersey will be like Jersey Shore, because they have one over here called Geordie Shore, which is where Simon lives. And he does not look anything like the people on that show who are like talk about their minge and they're like bright orange with their fake tans and stuff and be like, yeah, we're all cool, brah. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you people? No, I've never watched. No, and I don't watch that because I'm like, no. Whenever I watch them, I'm just like, no, it's like watching retarded people.
Geordie Shore, I like that name.
Yeah, it's because people from West Simon's from Newcastle are called Geordies.
I remember that because they said that Neville was the jumping Geordie.
Nice.
It's like, oh, interesting trivia I've learned.
I also loved when they did a spin-off of Geordie Shore, Mallorca, or whatever, when they went on a trip and you get to see what the lives like in Mallorca. So I'm like, wouldn't that be Mallorca Shore?
I would think so, but
I was like, I don't even care enough.
One of those things where you start raging and then in the middle you're like, nope, I just don't even care. You just stop. Do something.
Midway through, I'm like Kevin Owens. No, okay, just walk off. I got better things to do.
Walk, mole, walk. Walk, mole, walk.
Walk. Okay.
I'll keep my rage for better suited stuff like why Polly Pocket no longer fits in a pocket.
Nice.
That's such a small thing to always rage at. I don't know why. I'm looking at it like, it's not pocket sized!
Indeed.
But back to host.
Indeed. Oh, just real quick, by the way, well, since it's kind of my job to do this, Newcastle, Sheffield, Blackpool, Nottingham, London.
Okay, then none of them are near me.
Fair enough.
No, we got it. Oh man, if only we had a friend that was doing, that set those dates and gave the tweet that could move a location closer.
Yeah. I could go to Blackpool though. That's like off Florida.
It's filled with old people.
Yes.
Oh.
Filled with old people, shitty tourist traps, bingo halls, shitty rides, and the beach. It's literally a tourist trap of Britain, Blackpool.
That's amazing.
Oh my god, bingo halls. That's where the ECW Resurrection Tour should go.
You could go to Newcastle and make it in and just hang out with Simon for the day or something.
And I'm going to say something that may shock you, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
our bingo halls would be too good for the original ECW.
Oh,
Bingo became a massive thing
Shots
here.
fired.
Some of our bingo halls are like the size of arenas.
wow.
Thus, they're too big.
Fair enough.
Yeah, for some reason, young people have started to do bingo now. I never understand that. I'm like, it's an old person's game.
It is. It's weird.
But
Well,
it's
also
cool because you get to spend your money and you get to guess what numbers are. I'm like, yeah, you could play the young person's version of the lottery.
Yeah. Yeah. But just in case there's any other UK fans out there listening and you'd like to get in on this, they're also going to be visiting Glasgow and Cardiff. Just FYI.
Nice.
Indeed.
I actually know someone who'll be in Cardiff near that time.
Nice.
Because some of my family are going over to the Welsh Comic Con, which features Scott Hall.
Nice.
Not saying he's going to be on NXT, but
No,
he
that's
should be on
awesome.
NXT.
It's awesome that they're going to see Scott Hall. Sorry that they have to go to Wales.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. Who knows? Scott Hall might be on NXT. He was on Takeover.
Yeah.
Why is he at Comic-Con?
I don't know, it's at Welsh Comic Con. It's one of those things where they invite non-comic people.
Oh. Like all Comic-Cons?
Yeah, pretty much.
Except for the one called the Rio Comic Con.
Is there one actually called the Real Comic-Con?
Yeah, they did it like last year or the year before. It was called the Rio Comic Con, made by comic fans who were getting annoyed at all of this. And only stuff from comics was allowed to be featured.
I don't know.
And some people I heard some people be like, boo, that's kind of elitist, that's kind of shit. I'm like, well, how would you feel if it was like a Power Ranger convention and there's a giant Batman wing? Or how would you feel if you went to a football Hall of Fame or football conference and there's a load of wrestling stuff? You'd be like, this doesn't work. But yet we're Comic-Con. People are like, no, we accept it, it's comics, it doesn't matter. I'm like, fuck you. Angry rant out the way. Back to host.
Indeed, back to Hammy.
Glorious Hammy.
All right.
Glory, glory, Richter Hammer.
For his name is Hammertron.
Hammertron.
Hammertron. Nice.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Stop. Hammertron.
Na 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 na.
Hammertron,
Nah,
leader
nah.
of the X-Pounder cons.
Nice.
Wow.
Don't forget to check out our new X-Pounder Cons animated series. First episode available on DVD from the X-Pound store.
I want to see that.
X-Poundicons, Tangenticize!
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there'll be the one where we do a cartoon movie, eventually kill off Richter and replace him with, I don't know, QJ. Either way, kids aren't buying that toy.
When do we replace him with Crispy?
No. Crispy would be his version of Galvatron.
Ah.
Wow.
Which he changes his look just by popping a wig on and being like, oh, I'm an entirely new person.
He's Richter's version of Galvatron, so he's the not as good version of Richter?
That depends on your definition.
Fair enough.
Yes, it depends on your definition. As some versions of Galvatron have been better.
Yeah, the original one, but then when they put him in the TV series,
Oh,
he's
no,
so
not
bad.
about that. Not about that crappy one. I know about when they did like Transformers Armada and stuff, and eventually when he got upgraded, he was actually pretty cool.
Fair enough.
Because yeah, like you said, TV show kind of hurt that.
Yeah.
All right, so on
But Brooklyn.
NXT Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
All right, but before we get into the matches, I would just like to say I firmly agree with my former sidekick, fuck Corey Graves.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I now I know what's wrong, and it's because I actually saw that leaked pilot of NXT Kids. Corey Graves should never be allowed to be a face or a heel. He sucks at that. He goes way too far and makes no fucking sense. What he should do, the role they should put him in, is what the role they put him in NXT Kids. He needs to be the play-by-play commentary. He needs to be the guy in the middle that calls out the bullshit of the other two. That's what he needs to do.
I would make the case everyone on commentary sucks to someone as face or heel. For example, as Jim mentioned with tonight, we're not really meant to talk about. We can mention some of it. Like tonight, all the face commentators with the Ryback stuff. What Big Show did during his matchup when he accidentally punched Sheamus, Sheamus got an RKO. The commentators like, oh, there goes Big Show accidentally punching the wrong person again. I'm like, Miz was his opponent last night, you pricks. No, Miz was not the wrong person. Miz was the right person. Ryback just cheated. But all commentators do that. Like back in the day, how often did, like I said, like Jerry Lawler keep going all the way up Vince McMahon's ass? Or every time Austin came out, JR was like fucking choking on a dick. Be like, and she was like foaming at the mouth. It's like all commentators do that if they're face or heel. That's kind of
some do it better than others, and I don't think any of them do it well. It's just whether or not you like the person. I think JBL does it well. I mean, he has his moments of kind of doing or saying the wrong thing, but for the most part, I think JBL toes that line very well.
JBL does it. JBL does it well. The problem is he can't make up his goddamn mind.
See, I like JBL. But I've even admitted JBL sometimes goes too far, and he goes way too far a lot. And like Jim said, he doesn't make up his mind and stuff like that because he's meant to be neutral. Yet then suddenly goes heel, and all commentators are bad in that regard.
Yeah, but at least he's not like Corey Graves, who looks and sounds like a tool and a dick doing it.
Yep.
Like, no, Corey, no, how dare you, no? Because I like Corey Graves, and I like the stuff that he does. And when I saw him at the pay-per-view the other night, I was like, oh my god, what are you doing, Corey? No, this isn't working, man, no. And I was thinking about it after the fact, and I was like, he should just be the play-by-play.
Well, if you want a tool or a dick, you're in luck. Tonight, Jon Stewart was on Raw.
Nice.
Touche.
And Corey Graves, something needs to change with Corey Graves. I'm sorry, but when you're making Byron Saxton look competent, there's a problem.
Yeah. I'm sitting here thinking, okay, there's a difference between being the heel commentator and being a fucking asshole. And Corey Graves was just being a fucking asshole.
Yes.
Which, like I said, that people have commentators that like or hate. Like, personally, I'd say Corey Graves was better than Jim Ross or Jerry Lawler.
Wow.
Well, I'm sorry, when women come on the screen, I don't want to hear puppies and all sexual innuendos. For 30 minutes, I kind of want to see a match. But yeah, I'm like, Corey Graves, he's more likable than both of those two were on commentary.
No way, dude. I've heard 5-year-olds arguing today, and that's the stupidest thing I've heard. Thanks.
Yeah, because I don't know, Richter, if you saw that leaked NXT Kids or not before they got pulled. Because that's the role I think he should be in, where he does the play-by-play and he just talks with the other commentators and stuff instead of trying to project a heel or a face persona. Just let him be himself and let him talk about stuff and let him call them on their bullshit. Because on NXT Kids, like, I loved him on NXT Kids because he basically bantered with the kids and talked with the kids and did the play-by-play because obviously the kids aren't going to know all the holds and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and he did that well. He joked around with the kids and he would ask them questions, to get their opinions and stuff, to get the heel face reaction of, like, well, what do you think of this superstar? What do you think of this diva kind of thing? And he would do that and just kind of engage the kids. And it's like, that should be his role on the commentating team. It should be the calling the bullshit out and just engaging the other two. That's what it should be.
He should be the adult to Byron Saxton and Rich as kids.
Yeah.
I could go with that.
Like, because I realized it's kind of what they're doing on Raw now, where you have JBL, who can't fucking make up his mind, but is generally the heel person, and you have Byron Saxton, who's the kind of the rookie, but he's like the face, and then you have Michael Cole, who I think Michael Cole's fucking awesome now because they ceased having him do the out-and-out heel thing or anything or be like out-and-out face. He's just Michael Cole, and he's in the middle, and he calls them on their bullshit.
He is out-and-out face. like I just mentioned, like earlier tonight, he was screaming about how Big Show's punched the wrong person again, just like he made the mistake and punched the person he wasn't supposed to last night. And like
he punched his opponent.
Yeah, exactly. He punched his opponent.
Fair enough.
I think that's what he's there to do.
Yeah, exactly. And he does that. He does that all the time with the faces. It's like,
Fair enough. I think he's better now than he's been though, because he's like the play-by-play commentator. And
he's better than he was when he was coal miner.
Oh.
Yeah, and oftentimes he's like, "Look, okay, I understand where you're coming from, but can we watch the match, please? We're supposed to be calling the damn match." I'm like, that should be the role that Corey Graves is put in.
Though I will say, I miss my favorite NXT commentators.
No.
I liked it when at one point they had Corey Graves, Renee Young, and William Regal. And I was like, that's an awesome group.
That sounds awesome.
And then and at one point, I'm sure Rick remembers that when they just started to swap between those, and then some combination of those and these ones, and then they stuck on these ones. I'm like, I don't like these three as a trio, or as a trio, as it technically called.
Trio.
Trio. He says trio.
Sorry, I was mentioning Fruity Pebbles earlier. I've got 3 POs stuck in my head.
Ah.
Thank you. I remember C3POs.
Human breakfast relations.
Yeah, but it's like but like I said, with the commentators, I was like, I don't like the new NXT ones as a trio. Like I said, the only one of them I kind of like, which is fine. I know people hate him. I like Corey Graves. I like him when he's on the panel for the pre-show stuff, and I like him when he's doing his Corey Graves, culture shock.
Yeah.
But when he's in the trio, those trio just don't have chemistry together.
Well, the thing is, the other white guy, the one that was there at
The other white guy, that's racist.
That is racist.
well,
That's incredibly racist.
The third person at Takeover was Byron Saxton. He's not white, so yeah. But the other guy, I don't like that guy. It's like, you suck. Like, that dude really, he has no balls. That's the problem. They make him the middleman. He's supposed to be the one between the face heel, and he's the one that's supposed to be doing the play-by-play. Number one, he sucks at the play-by-play. Number two, he's got no fucking balls. And I'm like, no, you need someone with balls in that role.
Actually, I would say that makes it perfect for the play-by-play because you just described Michael Cole.
Yeah, and I will also say to you, Marcus, that is entirely racist, because you said, well, the other one was Byron Saxton, and he's black, so you could have said, the other commentator, who's not Byron Saxton. Boom! Colour never factors into it.
Indeed.
Fair enough.
How would you like it if we were to say, oh, look, it's the other Asian when one comes on the screen? I'm guessing you would say that was racist.
Fair enough. And I would disagree with you, Jim. I think Michael Cole has more balls than that guy, because Michael Cole will and has called out bullshit before, and it has been like, no, JBL, fuck you. He's done that before. He's argued with the commentators. He's been like, just call the damn match. Don't fucking ruin this thing. Whereas the other guy is just, it just felt like he had no balls, because it felt like Corey Graves just fucking ran over him and just basically took the commentary over. And I'm like,
yeah, because Corey Graves is an asshole.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you're supposed to be in the middle. Grow a pair of fucking balls. That's why I think Corey Graves would be awesome in that role, because he's got enough cojones to actually, get in people's faces and to be like, dude, do your fucking job.
Yeah, but I like I said, I think it's more of a case of they have no chemistry together, because since I know people watched way back when, whether or not you like them or hate them or whatever, Jim Ross, Jerry Lawler had chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Agreed.
Jim Ross and Paul Heyman had chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Michael Cole and Paul Heyman sucked balls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean. But Michael Cole and King have chemistry,
Mm-hmm.
which means both of them, Michael Cole and Paul Heyman, are equally valid when they did the commentary. But Paul Heyman and Michael Cole just don't mesh.
Yeah, it's like wrestlers in the ring. Certain wrestlers just don't have chemistry in the ring, and when they don't have chemistry, the match sucks balls.
Yes, I believe we do have some matches tonight as well.
We do, but yeah, I wanted to mention the Corey Graves stuff, because I did really think about it. I was like, no, fuck you, Corey.
Fair enough.
All right, so the first match was Tyler Breeze versus Jushin Thunder Liger.
Can we talk about the opening before the match? Because I thought that was kind of cool.
Okay.
The the whole Triple H thing. I was like, wait, is that Triple H standing in the middle of the ring like he's about to do the game promo? Because he had his head down like he was about to go, I am the game. I was like, wait, what is he doing? And then he busts out with, we are NXT. I was like, okay, that was kind of cool. Props,
And
Triple
he threw his
H.
arms up and the lights went up. That was pretty badass.
Yeah. The WWE Universe screamed out, and we said we were the future, but you said the future is now. I was like, that was actually really well written and really, really well executed. I'm like, props, Triple
And
H.
he pulled the
that was
mic
good.
out. He's like, we are NXT.
And then toss it. And I also have to give him props for it wasn't a 20-minute promo.
And these are women in stupid costumes.
Yeah, the fuck, dude. At first when they came out, I was like, what is this? And then I thought about it for a second, and I was like, oh, it's Tyler Breeze.
Do you also give him negative props for the thing he mentioned that we all took the piss out of with Seth Rollins?
What's that?
When Seth Rollins says, you wanted the future, well, the future starts now, and he's on about himself, and we're like, and like we mentioned, it's the same thing with Triple H, how can the future be now? By definition of the word future, it is ahead of now. You can't both be the future and now equally at the same time. It is an improbability. Or,
Okay.
Marcus, that isn't an actual impossibility.
It's
Like when people, it's literally impossible, and I don't mean literally like when people like I literally died.
I know.
In case people listen,
But I'm taking the piss out of.
Yeah, exactly, and it's like, oh, that's wrong.
Do you give 110%? No, because by definition, you cannot give more than 100%.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm not saying it was a great promo. It was a great promo. I'm just saying, yeah, but Seth Rollins at that, we all kind of took the piss. Like, I took the piss on DC Comics when Superman kept referring to himself as the Man of Tomorrow. And I'm like, but you're today. If anything, Booster Gold is the Man of Tomorrow.
Yes.
True.
That is true.
I can agree.
Not in the definition of he's going to be Superman in tomorrow, just because he's actually from tomorrow.
Oh, yeah?
And I don't know if you guys saw the article, but if the actor has his way, he's apparently also Nathan Fillion.
Yes.
Nice.
I think it was Nathan Fillion that said that.
Yeah. And
Yeah, Tyler Breeze. Egypt, really?
I like that entrance with all the models.
Yeah, that was a good entrance,
Yeah.
but that outfit.
Well, yeah, like I had a similar reaction to Marcus that came out, and I'm like, these are fucking horrendous costumes. What the shit is this? And then, like, his music starts, I'm like, oh, okay, then all of it made sense. And I'm like, okay, it's still stupid, but yeah, I get it now.
Yeah, see, when I was watching it, I agree. I was like, these are kind of hideous, but I was like, it seems totally like a fashion show.
Yeah.
Because if you ever watch those fashion
Yes.
shows, which unfortunately I have, who wears them when they have like
Yeah.
feather glasses sticking all the way up
Yeah.
and making horns, or a cape made of toast?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, who wears this? When I see him coming out, I'm like, this looks like a runway. This what? And then when Tyler Breeze comes out, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. It's part of his entrance because they do
Yeah.
feel like models. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'll let this go.
I was like, wait, are they doing a fashion show type thing? And then I thought about it for a minute, and then I remembered Tyler Breeze existed, and I was like, oh, right, Breeze, got it.
I will admit, I didn't think he was going to be the opening one, so like I didn't even consider it till his music hit. So I'm like, oh man, he's against Jushin Liger, and I was like,
That
yeah,
was
I
a good
like,
match.
Yeah, and I was like, I didn't think that would open it, and then he's coming out, I was like, oh shit, oh that's the opening one, that's a good opening match. Okay, well.
Although, is it me or did Jushin Liger look a little overweight?
A little bit, yeah.
The camera adds £10.
Okay.
He looked more than 10 pounds overweight.
There was a lot of cameras on him.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Cumulative. Yeah, remember he took the selfie stick, so that was an extra one. That's
Yeah.
probably what did it. That must be right.
Yeah.
Fact.
Fact.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, he was impressive though, especially given how overweight he looked. With that gut, dude, seriously. I was like, whoa! Since when did Liger get a gut? What the hell? But the stuff he was doing, I was like, okay, yeah, you're Jushin Liger, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't know if he was fat or just toned a bit. Because it's sort of like when Rey Mysterio started to look fatter, he wasn't fatter per se. He was just more toned, but because you're used to him being more skinny.
True, but if you really didn't think he was fat, he wouldn't have started wrestling in a t-shirt.
That was near the end. I'm on about earlier on in WWE when he went from being cruiserweight size to being heavyweight size almost.
Ah, okay.
And you were like, and I was like, he looks fat to me. But then I realised, I'm like, he doesn't look that fat. It's just because I'm used to the skinnier version, and also because he's wearing bright tights.
I mean, he wasn't like,
So basically he was Elvis.
I mean, I'm not saying he was like mole size fat, but he looked overweight.
He wasn't near him, Marcus.
What's that?
He
was more like me. Maybe not even that much.
I said he wasn't anywhere near as fat as Marcus.
Okay.
Indeed.
What? You're about the same size as me.
Although, I will say, this is the first time I saw this guy in action. He was very impressive, but with all due respect to him, and while the name is cool, with all due respect to this guy, and I get he's probably built this up, it's just because that guy way too short to be using a powerbomb for a finisher.
Jericho did it.
He did?
He invented it.
Yeah, Jericho.
I'm sure he invented it, I just don't remember when.
He did like a triple powerbomb thing at one point, and it was awesome.
I will admit, when he did that, I was like, what? I was like, Jericho doesn't look like a big enough guy. And he does 3 in a row?
Also, I can't believe I'm going to have to drop this little knowledge bomb on people.
Here we go.
The powerbomb was originally done by smaller guys.
Really?
Until Nash did it as a finisher. Nash decided to do it as a finisher as a bigger guy. And like, wait, when a bigger guy does that move, that looks awesome! That looks deadly when a big guy does it. And suddenly every big guy now did a powerbomb.
Fair enough.
Also, because, like, Jim, this was the first time I'd actually seen Liger. I'm wondering if Batista got, like, 100% inspiration from him, because I swear to God, when he did the Liger bomb and then the taunt afterwards, I'm like, wait, did he just rip off Batista? Because Liger went up to the ropes and did the that Batista does before he does the Batista bomb. I'm like, wait a minute. Did Batista rip off Liger for that, or was it the other way around, or what's going on here? Because that looked eerily like Batista's when then he turns around and does a thumbs up, thumbs down. That's what it looked like.
It would have to be the other way around, because Batista is now so old he's no longer wrestling, and Liger's in NXT, which is all about developing our future young stars.
I don't know. The Liger bomb just looked like the Batista bomb, except like a running version of it. I was like, wait a minute.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I distinctly recall one of the terrible commentators mentioning that he had like 44 titles or something like that.
Yeah, because bad news.
Yeah, but Liger's a legend.
Yeah, I was going to say,
he's not clearly not a becoming talent. He's clearly established.
The reason when I mentioned that Richter and Marcus laughed is because they knew what I was getting at. The fact NXT is seen as the young stars rising and stuff, and it's filled with a load of old guys as well, like Samoa Joe, who have actually been on the circuit for years. But people always think of NXT as this young up-and-coming crowd, like, oh yeah, they're all going to be the young guys. They're not all the young guys. You need the old guys too.
Yeah, Kevin Owen, for that matter. He's not as old, but he's been on the circuit for years too.
Yep.
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting.
And Sami Zayn right with him, who should get shot up to the main roster to feud with Owens as soon as he gets back from his injury.
Yep. Which I will say I did like this match. This was one of the 2 matches that had me like really hyped up throughout this.
It was a good match.
And I liked this match. I was like, okay. When I first saw it, I was like, okay, this is an opening match. And I will admit, got into my mindset of, this isn't going to be that good. And I'm watching like, this is really good. Nice. This is like the caliber of matches I hold NXT Takeover to. Nice.
Indeed.
Yeah, it was a good match.
It was a great match.
Still, I didn't like Tyler Breeze's outfit. I'm like, okay, so now he's being billed from his like vacation home or whatever in Cairo, Egypt, and he comes out wearing fucking Atem's outfit. I'm like, the fuck?
That's completely disrespectful. Richter's blind nun of a wife hand sewed that herself for Tyler Breeze. His kids had to go without food because his wife crippled her hands. His blind nun of a wife crippled her hands making Tyler Breeze's outfit.
Sure.
It will do as soon as I update Wikipedia for you and Jim reads that fact back.
Nice.
I don't think any of my statement was true.
No.
Yeah, I didn't know if you guys liked the outfit or thought it sucked. I didn't like that, but I was like, really? I liked his previous outfits when they made him like the fucking male model thing. I thought that was cool. I was like, okay, that works.
I liked his outfit.
Yeah, I think it works. His gimmick is evolving, and that's kind of what you have to do to keep fresh in the company.
Yeah, I don't know. It was
Fair enough.
Yeah, I didn't think it was great, but
I mean, that's like saying I don't like these brightly colored T-shirts. I miss John Cena's muscle shirt and chains.
Lots of people do say that.
If he started coming out as Word Life Cena, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, lots of people do say they want Word Life Cena back, despite the fact Cena nowadays can actually wrestle better than he did then when he was more lazy in the ring.
Yep.
But nostalgia!
Indeed.
did he ever? Oh, okay. The first 3 matches he had aside, did he ever not wrestle in jeans?
This is true. And technically, yes, because for a while he was wearing khaki shorts.
Oh. Okay then.
It was jeans that were coloured green. And you can get green jeans. I do own some.
No, I'm aware. I've seen them in this. I work in retail. I've seen them.
Have you seen my pants?
Yes, he has.
How have you seen my pants?
I didn't see your pants. I've seen other pants.
Your webcam is on.
No, my pants.
I need to make a Cards Against Humanity of green blue jeans just so Pew shuts down when she reads it.
There you go.
Or make one of your webcam is on.
Yeah.
Yes.
We need to play that. We haven't played that in a long time.
There's a reason. You're not good company.
Oh,
No, I'm kidding. The reason is because you've been playing up the other games.
True.
You should make a card Richter's blind nun wife. I would love to see Pew's reaction if she draws it wait, what?
Richter's blind wife, blind nun wife with crippled hands.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't wait till Richter reads that back to Wife Blade later as well. You know, in our podcast, Mo described you as a blind nun who crippled her hands making Tyler Breeze's outfit. And she'd just be like, oh, for God's sake, just once, can you guys actually talk about the match?
Oh yeah, they're supposed to talk about a pay-per-view, aren't we?
We are.
I
I
thought
almost
so.
forgot.
Which, yeah, like I said, I like this match.
It was a good match.
Indeed. It's a good match. And it's followed by NWO cameo.
Yeah,
Which
do we know if Liger is going to stick around, or if that was a one-off thing?
I imagine a one-off thing. But
Okay.
He's going to be joining the Lucha Dragons as their third man so they can feud with the Wyatts.
That'd be awesome. I would totally buy that. That'd be
Well,
awesome.
Jushin Thunder Liger does have the horns to match Bray Wyatt.
Nice. But no, yeah, like I said, I like that match. I will warn people listening, I only like 2 matches this night.
Fair enough.
50% done.
The rest of them, while I didn't hate the matches, I just thought they weren't as good as previous takeovers.
Fair enough.
That's fair.
Yes, NWO cameo. Just why? I mean, it's cool to see them, but why?
Because I believe, as the commentators explained, they are Triple H's friends, and they are here to see Triple H's creation come to fruition at this awesome NXT pay-per-view.
Fair enough. I do like that Scott Hall had the toothpick in his mouth, and he did the Scott Hall thing of he took it out and flicked it at the camera, and then pulled the other one from behind his ear. I was like, yes,
I love the part
vintage
where,
Hall.
I love the part of the promo where Hulk Hogan walked in his NWO shirt, and they're like, Hulk Hogan, what are you doing here? He's like, well, I wouldn't miss an opportunity. The sign says Brook in. I'm like, no, it's Brooklyn. And he's like, oh, and then just leaves.
I really thought that was going to go, but I approve.
That was good. That was good.
Poor Hogan.
I thought it was gonna be a joke about him getting offended that they were all wearing black.
Yeah,
I do. And I do have to say, Scott Hall's looking pretty good.
He is.
Looks like he's in decent shape, and he's, now that he's like all sober and stuff, it's like, cool.
Yeah.
You're looking more like Scott Hall now. I approve.
You can see more of him looking good at Welsh Comic Con.
To be fair, even if he gets hit by a bus and his face is all twisted, he will still look inevitably like Scott Hall, because that's who he is!
Not if he gets hit by a bus and gets amnesia and they don't know who he is.
Yes.
I think we just came up with a plot for 2K17.
Why not? It happened to Kevin Nash once, and he thought his name was Vinny Vegas.
Could be worse. I heard it happen one time, and he started walking around in a fake beard and a big-ass green robe.
Yep.
Oh my god, no. If that happened to Scott Hall, then would the guy that played fake Scott Hall with fake Diesel, would he then take over as Scott Hall? Just to see if anyone noticed, and then everyone would be like, boo, and he's like, what? I'm Scott Hall.
Yeah, it's like that's what happened to Kane. At one point, Kane was a mild-mannered dentist minding his own business. Then he gets hit by a car, gets amnesia, and when he wakes up in the hospital, Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and they're like, we kind of miss our friend. You're Kevin Nash, you're Diesel. And he's like, really? And when he goes out there and thinks he's Diesel. Fact.
Yeah, fact. That is exactly how that happened.
That's why he wore a mask for years, to hide his shame.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's like, oh, they don't like Kevin Nash. I better hide my face.
I remember fake Razor Ramon and fake Diesel. They were horrible. I still loved making fake Diesel on 2K.
Nice.
But the next match.
Yes, they showed him. Then they showed like that. Oh, what was I forgot his name. I keep forgetting his name. That music guy. That was there too.
I don't know. Yeah.
The guy that kind of looks like ZZ Top. It's like Rick Rubin or something like that.
That sounds about right.
Nobody cares.
It was Zeus.
Yeah, it was Zeus.
Anyway, yes, next match.
It was Michael Hayes.
And then we cut back and saw Bayley and her awesome Dusty Rhodes polka dot colored wristbands in tribute.
Nice.
That was nice. And then we saw a vignette for somebody named Nia Jax coming soon.
Nia Jax.
Nia Jax, sorry.
That trailer interests me. I don't know who she is, but I'm like, okay, so she's got like sort of like a Victoria-ish or like Winter from TNA style, like what do you call it, advertisement for. I'm like, okay, so she could be a really interesting character.
I like the name too. The name's cool. It's a great
She
name.
shows off she's just gender swap Jax from Mortal Kombat.
I'd take that.
I was about to say, I'd be okay with that.
Metal arms. Gotcha. Oh.
See,
Fucking sweet.
I thought you were going to make the other one. When I saw her name, at first I misread it. I'm like, wait, what? And I rewound it because I thought it was her, and I thought it said New Jack is coming. I was like, wait, you're advertising it for a white woman and you just named her New Jack? Are you fucking mental?
That chick's gonna get murdered.
Yeah, Marcus is like, well, this one just writes itself.
Like, yeah. Well, sucks to be Bayley since she's about to win the title.
No, I didn't think Bayley was that one. I meant the woman they were debuting. I thought with the name, I thought the name was going to be New Jack. I'm like, what?
I'm saying if she's supposed to be like New Jack, I'd be like, well, sucks to be Bayley.
No, it sucks to be her because she's a white woman, and there's gonna be a story in the paper like tomorrow. White woman's supposed to be on NXT found thrown off a scaffold.
Yeah. And it'll also suck for the new girl if that was the case, because it'd be like, oh my god, black guy everyone loved now turns into white woman. Michael Jackson did it first.
That too. Did everybody really love New Jack? I didn't think anybody liked New Jack.
People liked New Jack when he was in ECW, before he went completely racist and insane.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I did like him, and then later found out he was like a horrible person. It's like, oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, like I've mentioned to Richter before. I watched ECW. One of the first times he stapled someone, I was like, at the time, I was like, that's cool. Because I was under the mindset, like most people are when they watch wrestling, it's all fake, it's all part of the act. It's fine, that dude's going to be fine. Then I find out later on that he's stapling people he's not meant to, and he's being overly racist. I'm like, this changes everything. I can never go back and watch one of his matches again without thinking, was he supposed to do that? Not sure if kayfabe or racist. Flyface.
Well, the good news is that he's out there. That gives Hulk Hogan someone else to hang out with that was popular and then came out as a horrible racist.
It does, except for the fact New Jack made it worse.
True.
They're gonna start a fan club.
Yeah, people want to see Hulk Hogan versus New Jack at WrestleMania.
Yes. In a scaffold match.
Yes. With Kenzo Suzuki as referee.
I was gonna say brick on a pole match.
Wouldn't be the first time she's been on a pole.
I know. With Hogan nearby.
Yes.
Good times.
But yes, the next match.
But anyway, there was a tag team title match.
Yeah, now we're on to the
That's
second
awesome.
match.
I love
Hot
Hot
Villains versus Sweet Boys. I don't know their real. I mean, I know they're Blake and Murphy, but they need a tag name.
Yeah.
So.
Although I will
really,
El Generico
really
was
good-
taken.
it was a really good match, and blue pants.
I was gonna say, fuck all these guys, blue pants.
Blue Pants, awesome. I always liked the Vaudevillains entrance with the black and whiteness, and that's always like the first time they did.
Coats. That was awesome.
Yeah, the first time they did that, I was like, that's a cool ass thing, and I remember putting that as an award one time when I messaged you guys and stuff. I loved that entrance. I'm like, that's cool.
I love that
I didn't like the crowd going Blue Pants City because, like I mentioned to Rick, they didn't feel like the NXT crowd to me tonight. I know they're not before we go into that, but it felt like these people are most likely are going to watch this and SummerSlam, whereas some of the NXT people, you get the sense that's the only show they go to, that's the one they care about. Like, they weren't doing as much of the inside chants that you normally get, and this one just felt like they just took the Suplex City chant and just replaced Suplex with Blue Pants and thought they were original.
Mm-hmm.
But Blue Pants.
Blue pants.
Yeah.
And the
Also
Hulk
known
are the
as the
champions.
Also known as the fairy that gave Paige her outfit.
Yes.
True.
And hey, new champions. So how about that?
Yay. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know why Blake or Murphy had it looked like their tights were like Iron Man inspired.
And I will say their tights look really cool because I like things that are red and gold. Big shock. But yeah, they all look like Iron Man.
Then you're gonna love your murder scene.
Wow.
You know, like I shouldn't laugh because that was ridiculously morbid, but it was kind of funny. That was out of nowhere.
Morbid joke out of nowhere. Marcus, don't get any ideas. I'm not that famous.
I will apologize to Jim
I appreciate that.
for the benefit of our listeners, not because I truly am sorry.
And wait for it.
No? Because I just said the sentence, not because I'm truly sorry.
Ah, okay. Fair enough.
But no. Yeah,
Yeah, this is a pretty good back and forth match.
I like this match. This almost was my match of the night until the Divas came out.
Yeah.
But I liked this match. Just, I don't know, it hit all the right notes. I was like, okay, this is a good match.
Yeah, it was pretty solid.
Yeah, like I said, it was an okay match.
I was glad to have the Vaudevillains as tag champs. I do like them. I like their gimmick.
I agree.
Yeah. Like I said, it was an okay match. But I will say, yeah, my favorite, the parts I liked the most were an entrance and Blue Pants, which that should not be a thing. I shouldn't leave an NXT Takeover match thinking that.
Yeah.
I still miss Aiden English singing, though.
Yep. And I like that whirling dervish. I hope that's in the game.
That is a great double team maneuver.
Are they in the game, the Vaudevillains?
Not confirmed yet, but would not shock me.
If they're in the game, then the whirling dervish has to be in the game.
Not confirmed, but yeah, like Jim said, it wouldn't surprise me because there's loads of NXT people announced already.
Yeah.
So, my career mode's been longer, so I'm guessing NXT is going to be much more focused on this time. Because you're going to have more than the same 4 matches.
I'm gonna say there was only like 4 NXT dudes in the last game. That got really boring.
One of which was Rusev, who was on the main roster by the time the game came out.
And one of which was Bo Dallas, who was on the main roster when the game came out.
May he rest in peace.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh yeah. I heard about that.
You need to YouTube that to give an award, Rick.
Yeah, that
People always say villains in WWE don't have balls. That took balls.
That took a lot of balls.
That took all the balls.
All the balls.
Now they're all dead.
Yeah.
I should take that as an award and call it bigger balls than Vince McMahon. No worries.
Or call it, that's where Rich's balls went. Or as Jeff knows him, the other white guy.
Yeah.
Then you call it. Then you call it. Somebody raided Stephanie's purse.
Yes.
Ouch.
I think a lot of guys have raided Stephanie's purse.
Hey,
If you want to know which ones, just wait till springtime when they all get released.
Wow.
Pretty much.
I know. The thing is, all you have to do is spank her butt, right? Because the people that do that get massive pushes.
Nice. I love the fact you said that, and I also love in my head you said, because all you got to do, I honestly thought you were going to go with Believe. I was like, just spank her ass, and I'm just like, that's not what I was thinking. It's like a double take of, wait, did he really just say that?
But yeah, this match was really good. Moving on. Keeper of the match list.
Oh, am I still doing it? All right, fair enough. I'll keep going.
I don't know.
Well,
Richter, did you have him?
What? Oh yeah, I have them in order. I don't write down all the promos though. So
Yeah, we hardly discuss the promos unless someone happened to like one.
Yeah. Basically, here's why Marcus screwed up earlier and got confused. So next, Finn Balor shows up in a car in the parking lot with Neville and Cesaro, and then we saw music mogul Rick Rubin.
Ah, fair enough.
That does seem like important information.
Yeah, Cesaro and Neville, cool to see them.
My life has changed dramatically.
And
I'm going to have to lead this podcast and go and think about what I know.
Indeed. And then there was a match that I didn't even realize happened. It was so short.
Oh?
And then we had the Ty Dillinger one
Yeah.
versus Apollo Crews,
Yes.
Wuhan Nation.
That was pretty awesome. Like I was like, okay, let's see what this Apollo Crews guy can do. And I was like, whoa, okay, this guy's impressive.
See, I was going to say the thing I would think, in my opinion, I was kind of right, Jim.
What's that?
When I looked at him, yeah, okay, he had like did like one or two little things that were kind of good, but most of his stuff was just the like big Zeke, yeah, like the big Zeke Ryback style wrestling, and I'm like, I'm not impressed by this guy. I'm like, this guy seems a dime a dozen.
Yeah. Well, let's be fair on the level
which means I bet you he makes the main roster before Finn Balor.
Probably. Let's be honest. There's really nothing worse in terms of big guys than Zeke Jackson, power slam, except Ryback.
Yep, I absolutely hate it if someone just kept doing that same move over and over again. Suplex City.
Ha!
It's cool. We like Brock.
They're gonna make up for that in 2K16. They're just gonna give him Kurt Angle's triple Germans.
Yeah, but no, with the
in all the slots.
But yeah, I do agree. Big Zeke was horrible. I did not like Big Zeke, but this Apollo Crews, or whatever he's called, when I look at him, I'm like, when I see him wrestle, I'm not that impressed by this dude. I know I'm supposed to be. I know WWE hyped him up, but I'm like, he doesn't seem that impressive. Ironically, I fed into more of the hype when they did it with Byron Corbett, or whatever he was called, which I know I keep forgetting his name. At the time, I was interested. Now I'm just not interested in him.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get there. Give us a few more minutes.
I don't know. I didn't think that this guy was gonna be all that quick or anything. Like I said, I didn't know about any of the hype or anything. I was just like, oh yeah, he exists. Let's see if he's any good.
Yeah.
And he came out, and I was like, okay, he seems like your generic big dude. Fair enough. And then he started doing shit, and I was like, whoa. Okay.
He didn't do that much because it was a really
Dude
short
was
match.
quick.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
what I meant by the hype was they kept having pictures with him and his support, Triple H's support of him coming to NXT, and how WWE wants you to see the debut of this guy. And it was all over the place wherever I kept looking, because they even showed Jim pictures of all that with the hype and stuff. And I'm like, okay, why are they acting like this dude's the second coming? He better be the best fucking guy on NXT with this much level of how much hype I'm seeing for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, okay.
I keep wanting to call him Apollo Creed.
Yeah, I know, me too.
Yeah.
I don't know what Jim and Richter thought. I really like this guy. I thought this guy was
Like I
pretty
said, this match was so short, I didn't realize it happened, so I didn't see it.
yeah, I look forward to seeing where he goes and what he does.
I had to take a phone call, and I missed this entire match and the majority of the next match. So.
Gotcha.
Great.
Yeah, I was looking forward to this one just because, like, you know, they had the promos for this guy, and I made fun of it because, like, they didn't give his name forever, and then finally gave it, and I was like, you know, it's, you know, like, Apollo sounds cool, but I don't know, the name's okay to me. Like, it could be definitely better. It doesn't, it's not awe-inspiring, especially after taking, like, fucking 8 weeks to come up with. But I thought the dude was impressively athletic, because he did a lot of moves, and I was like, you know, I like that. Like, yeah, he's definitely a big dude. He kind of, you know, looks generic in a lot of ways, but he did some really, you know, entertaining moves, and I was like, oh, I like that. You know, I don't know if he's going to be the greatest ever, but I'm definitely interested to see him do more things.
And what you described then makes me giggle just because of the thing I'd seen from over here a while back.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it took them 8 weeks to come up with a name, and like you said, it's not that an impressive name. It's worse when over here they spent, I can't remember how much money it was, but it's a ridiculous sum of money, loads of time researching it, and loads of work and effort put into naming what should be the official name of the cheese board of Britain. And they came up with the British cheese board.
Wow.
I don't mean cheese board as in what you cut. I mean like the people.
The board of people who regulate cheese.
Yeah. And they came up with the British cheese board. I'm like, that's such an unimpressive name when you find out how much money and time they'd spent. I'm like, how would you do that?
And what it sounded better if they called it the cheese board of Britain.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but like I said, with that, when it's like we're trying to figure out what to name it and stuff, and I've seen that a few times. So it's been like, we're trying to figure out what to name it, and it's just like one of them was like what was it? I think it was Wrexham. The Wrexham Express was just called that, because it was an express in Wrexham. I'm like, I could have come up with a better name than that. In fact, I could come up with a better name than that right now by just going, I'm going to call it Calorink. Calorink. There you go. That's better than just the Wrexham Express or the cheese board of Britain. Better name. And all I did was take 2 seconds to pick up a can of Coke and combine the word calorie with the word drink. That's how little effort they put into that.
Yeah.
And it only cost several £100,000.
It did. If it helps, it was a Diet Coke.
Oh.
It's a runny because it says on the front, and I'm not kidding with this, and this is a rant and off topic, I know. Diet Coke, no calories, no sugar. Fair enough, right? Mm-hmm. You read the back, sparkling low-calorie soft drink. I'm like, well, it has calories, and if it's low calories, you can't put no calories and put low calories somewhere else. They cancel each other out.
Yeah.
One of these things cannot be true.
I need to bring back my show that I had with Simon and maybe do it with Rick or someone. Of just me doing stupid rants about crazy shit that peeved me that week.
That'd be great.
I say with Rick or someone because I did it with Simon, but he's really unavailable at most of the time. So yeah, fuck it, I'll do it with Rick.
Speaking of Rick, back to the Ivory Tower.
Indeed.
Okay, so on to the next match then.
Yep.
Okay.
Moving right on.
We had Samoa Joe v. Baron Corbin. which
Joe is gonna kill you.
this ended up better than I thought it was going to be.
That's what I was going to say. This ended up a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
See, this match, I will say, yeah, I'm the same as you guys. Because, like I said, I bought into the what the fuck his name is, Corbin's hype at one point. I was like, cool, especially when they had like the motorbike-ish entrance style thing at one point when they hyped him with a, damn, oh my god, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to love this guy. And then he came out, and after a couple of weeks, I'm like, I forgot you're still here. But with Samoa Joe, I know can actually wrestle, so I was like, okay. But I still thought the other guy sucked enough.
Yes.
No offense to him, because he's in developmental, he's allowed to suck. I just thought it was not going to be a good match. But Samoa Joe managed to carry it enough. I'm like, okay, this is pretty enjoyable.
Yeah, especially when the match started, and what they did for the first few minutes of the match, I was like, okay, this is kind of boring. Like, this is kind of making Joe look bad. But then, Joe actually started doing shit, and I was like, whoa, okay, this is kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Joe started reversing, not reversing, but comboing submissions into submissions into submissions. I'm like, Jesus. I'm like, okay, now I know why they call you the submission machine. Fair enough.
It's because the submission sorority was already taken. Thank you. But no, yeah, like I said, I do like Joe, and I've actually hoped for a while he'd come to WWE. I think it's a shame, and I don't know if anyone would agree that he's stuck on NXT. And I don't mean that in an overly negative way. I mean that and NXT is more the developmental territory. And with Samoa Joe, he has enough left in him for a good WWE main roster run with some of the big guys they've got there. And it seems like he's going to go on NXT. He's probably going to be there for a while with the new guys, and then he's probably only going to come up for a much shorter reign than what he was supposed to do, especially considering on tonight's Raw, they debuted someone who skipped NXT entirely.
Yeah.
Which means that is a possibility now, so why didn't they do it with Joe? Imagine if he'd come out when Seth Rollins was champion and he just challenged him or something like that, or challenged Brock. That match would fucking be a whoa.
I think it's because, from what I recall, originally when he first debuted in NXT, I don't think he was meant to be around very long. He had other things he had to do before he could settle down and literally be in WWE, but they wanted to debut him, and he was going to be here and there. And then now that, from what I understand, he's actually on NXT, on every show now and stuff. He's actually done what he needs to do, and he's full-time, WWE's full-time wrestling again. That they're well, he's kind of embroiled in some feuds here, and so they're probably going to finish off those feuds in NXT and then probably move him up. But they can't just be well, now that he's available, fuck NXT, let's kick him up to the main roster, because that would kind of suck for the feuds that he's in. Which I kind of understand. But yeah, I'd like to see him on the main roster.
Wasn't he only in one feud? Until that was sorted out. I thought he was in the one with Kevin Owens.
Mm-hmm.
Which, fair enough. But then once the contract was done, instead of doing new feuds, move him the hell up.
Yeah.
And that's not saying NXT doesn't deserve Joe. I'm just thinking I'd much rather see Samoa Joe v Brock Lesnar than I would Samoa Joe v Corbin.
Baron Corbin. Yeah, I agree.
But I don't know what you think about that, Rick.
About what, using Joe on actual?
Yeah. on Raw. Because like I said, I tried not to make that sound insulting to NXT.
Yeah. Yes and no. I mean, he's a big enough name that I think he helps draw some of the people to NXT. But yeah, it does seem kind of weird that they have a new dude on. So it is possible to skip it, which I do like in the sense of it's a surprise. But at the same time, it's it kind of sucks when there's people that could easily have done it, and they're just nah, you go on NXT.
Yeah, I was surprised, as much as I'm not a big fan of him, I was surprised Rhino went straight to NXT.
Yeah, I was about to mention that too. It's but Rhino used to be on your main roster. What the hell?
I was half expecting Rhino to show up and spear Reigns at some point.
Yeah.
Or Gore, before someone says that.
Yeah.
just because Reigns uses a spear too, so that feud just sort of wrote itself.
Mm-hmm.
And Rhino's one of those guys that if he's a heel and he's full on heel beast thing that they could easily put with Paul Heyman for the times Brock's not there or something like that. If he does it his heel persona, people want to hate him.
Yeah.
And I will admit his face persona that he has on NXT is really nice, but it's weird and unsettling because I don't like him in that role. I don't want to see you face right now. I want to boo at you. Stop making me stop being lovable. Stop having Rickitis.
Rickitis.
Yeah, it's where I really want to boo Rick and I really want to invalidate him like you guys do, but god damn it, he's too damn lovable.
Okay then. Yes, what did Jim think of this match?
Just
since
sneak
he
up
hasn't
behind
chimed in?
Just sneak up behind him and put his wig back on, then you can invalidate him.
Yeah.
No, because then he won't be Richter. He'll sound different.
True.
But no, yeah, Jim, what did you think of the part you caught, like Marcus asked?
Well, I basically came into Corbin passing out. I really didn't see any of the actual match.
Fair enough.
Unfortunately, I wanted to go back and I'm like, oh, I missed a Joe match. I want to go back and watch this, but I'm like, I don't have time if I want to actually finish this before Raw comes on.
Fair enough. Yeah, speaking of Corbin passing out, was I the only one who thought it was kind of weird and a little disrespectful for Corbin to immediately get up after the bell rang, after he passed out? I'm like, dude, you should be fucking dead on the mat. Joe just choked you the fuck out.
Disrespectful? No. Wrong? Yes.
Fair enough.
The only reason I say not disrespectful is if that had happened on Raw, disrespectful. On NXT, like I've mentioned in the past, people keep forgetting it's developmental. He needs to learn how to sell better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also wrong because basically that just drew an immediate comparison to Brock Lesnar, who passed out after all this, and this dude just passes out and just gets rid of him. Brock Lesnar had to be like carried out of the arena.
Brock didn't have to be carried out the arena.
He wasn't carried out.
He got up at the end when Paul Heyman did his big speech, and he was stuck right by Paul Heyman.
That's right, he got up, I forgot. But still, it just seems like, it's like, Brock passed out, he's so tough to tap out, and then this dude just doesn't tap out. Like, I'm sorry, you're not good enough to pass out in a hold.
I'm okay with him passing out. I was just not okay with him immediately getting up after that. Like, oh, what happened? I'm like, no, that's not how passing out works, dude.
Isn't it?
I know what you mean, Jim, but I just like that. It's like, he's not good enough to pass out.
Yeah, he's not good enough to pass out.
Like, I just picture he's choking someone, and the guy's just sitting there like, and he's like, can you still breathe? He's like, he just shakes his head, and he's like, why don't you pass out? And he's like, not good enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't level up enough, I'm sorry.
I have not learned the passive ability of pass out to mock your opponent.
Yeah. What did you think about him standing up, Rick? And did you agree that it's not it's either disrespectful or it's not disrespectful because he's learning a lot he needs to sell?
Yeah, he definitely does. I don't know. I didn't think he got up too fast, but I was surprised he got up when he did. But I thought he did well enough in that when Joe let go and just kind of like threw him off, he just like rolled over and he was like still for like 30 seconds or so. Like I was like, okay, like yeah, because I kind of thought he would get up or crawl around or something like that. So maybe because I thought he was gonna do it sooner, it didn't seem like that short a time to me because I expected it. Not Ultimate Warrior bad, but I kind of pictured he would choke him out, roll him over, get up, and then he would just kind of like, like the get up on your elbows thing, kind of like, but it seemed to take a little bit longer than that, but I didn't think it was, yeah.
You expected the get up on your elbow thing, not 9 count in a last man standing match with Cena.
Yes.
I don't mind when Cena sells and stuff, obviously. I don't hate him, but that always peeves me when it's like, hey, 9 to his feet and just jumps into the ring. I'm like, oh. I understand you're trying to bring out the tension by waiting until the 9 count, but that's the wrong way of doing it. I'm okay.
Well, I'll admit that sometimes there was one later in the evening, but sometimes when someone's like kind of tired, they do a move and then or they look kind of fine, they do a move and then they collapse even though it didn't like hit them.
Yeah.
It always kind of straight. Like I understand the philosophy behind it, of like you're trying to sell that you're tired or whatever, and you're not trying. But sometimes those just look odd to me. I'm like, you looked fine. You did this big move, and then you fell over when it didn't. It seems like they fell in a way that wasn't natural to the move.
Yeah, it's
like one of those dolls where you push the bottom of it and it just collapsed. You know the ones with the string.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. I got Mr. Bump later, where you're pushing underneath, he goes, still falls down because it's hilarious, it's Bump. But I can't believe I just said that. But yeah, with that, yeah, it's like you mentioned, like for example, I know people don't give him enough credit, so I will. It's like I always loved tired Kevin Nash. Not sure if anyone saw that. Tired Kevin Nash, whenever he went to do the jackknife, he didn't just pull him up and do the jackknife. He struggled with him and pulled him up, did the powerbomb and fell down in one motion dead, like it took everything he had to do the move. And I'm like, that's a better sell. And like you said, like I've seen Batista be tired and go, boom, Batista bomb, dead. Like his battery just went out.
Yes.
But yeah, I do like to give props to Kevin Nash for stuff he deserves. Because I still stand by saying he's one of the most underrated wrestlers ever. That doesn't mean he's good, but I keep seeing people say he's Khali bad.
No, he's not Khali bad, not even close.
And I'm like, he's pretty good in the ring. He's as good as most of the big men that size, if not better than a lot of big men that size.
Yeah.
And not to give credit where credit is due, sometimes the getting up quickly from an injury can be made to work, like when Brock Lesnar got assaulted and put him through a table and was out of the match for like 20 minutes, and then as it was about to end, he suddenly leaped up, suplexed like 6 dudes, and then won the match.
He did, but he was down long enough, and he eventually got up to his feet and did it. But he didn't just do the Cena with to my feet and into the ring. He did get help up at one point and pushed the paramedics and did it.
Fair enough.
Like, I have no problem with Mick Foley pushing the paramedics and then trying to reclimb the cage, because he sold his thing by the fact he was on the stretcher and then pushing them away to climb up the Hell in a Cell. If he'd just gone to his feet after being thrown off that table from Undertaker, just ran back up, he'd be like, okay.
To be fair, if Mankind just ran back up, I'd be like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, especially if he jumped to his feet, like kips up Shawn Michaels style, and then just climbs up.
Yeah. As much as I like Mankind, if he did that, I'd be like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
Wait, is he a video game boss? He's getting better the weaker he becomes.
Like, check it. He must be possessed. He can't do that.
No. See, it works. He jumps off the stretcher. He runs to the cage. He climbs on top. Then he takes off his mask and his shirt. He's got a Cactus Jack shirt underneath, and he's like, "Oh, I'm a new guy now. I'm fresh now."
I don't think Cactus Jack used to do kip-ups and run. Pretty sure Mick Foley's famous for being a fat dude that jumped off stuff.
True.
Or got thrown off stuff. Or got thrown into stuff. Or jumped into stuff.
Or got put through stuff.
Yeah. I like, no one ever mentions, oh yeah, do you remember Mick Foley? Oh yeah, he's like Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. People like, do you remember Mick Foley? He used to do crazy shit.
Yeah.
That's what people remember Mick Foley for.
And cheap pops.
Yeah.
But what I respect
that actually makes it a valid point that even despite all of that at the top of the pay-per-view we discussed last night, even Mick Foley wasn't crazy enough to go to Suplex City.
Yeah. What I will say, just to give props to Mick Foley, is I respect Mick Foley, because whenever people ask him about his wrestling, he talks about the psychology and stuff too, but he always admits, yeah, I got over with the crowd because I used to throw myself off stuff. Whereas Jeff Hardy, who's in a similar spot, talks like he's the greatest wrestler that ever walked.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you're not that great in the ring. You just jump off stuff like ladders or different sized ladders or even more different sized ladders.
I feel like we need to pool money and we need to pay a dude to follow Jeff Hardy around with a tablet. And every time he says that, just play the Jeff Hardy Sting match.
Yeah. But
the one where he was drugged out of his mind.
I know which one you're on about. But yeah. Which, like I said, he just gave props to Mick Foley for that, because I like the fact he always admits to his shortcomings.
He does.
Like I mentioned with Nash before now, I love the fact Nash always undersells himself in interviews and stuff, because, as people said, one of his best qualities is he's not a mark for himself.
Nope.
He's like, like he even mentioned when they gave him the title, he's like, I was a big enough guy, and they said, here's the belt, and he's like, if I have the right people to work with, I can probably go far, but I never thought of myself as the company, because that's ridiculous. It takes two to tango. And I'm like, thank you. Whereas you go over to Hulk Hogan, I'm bigger than professional wrestling, brother.
See, that's why you gotta admire people who can find a strategy to make that work. Like Brock Lesnar found a way to make that work because he just hired a dude to be a mark for him.
Yeah. To be fair, Miz did that first.
That's
with
true.
Michael Cole.
That is true.
Miz just hired wrong.
Yeah.
But no, I believe we have another match now.
Indeed. Then he got it right. He hired Biz now.
Yeah. But yeah, next up was the NXT women's match.
Indeed.
Sasha Banks.
Yeah, let's not forget we took a shot so we could take a look and see Ric Flair, Sergeant Slaughter, and Team Bad at ringside for this match.
We did.
And also when they showed Ric Flair and Clarence Slaughter, Kana was standing next to Ric Flair.
I don't know who that is.
Japanese wrestler.
Okay, then.
Female wrestler.
When he said Kana, I thought he was making a cancer joke.
Wow!
I was like, that's so inappropriate.
Wow.
I was just waiting for him to say Force Ghost or something.
I like how that's horrible. It means the first thing you go to and not, oh, what was half of the Ascension doing there?
Are they in the Hall of Fame?
True.
No, they showed Ric Flair and Sergeant Slaughter, and there was this chick standing next to him, and he was like kind of in the frame, and like they were kind of focusing on her. I'm like, who's that? And then they mentioned who it was, and I was like, oh, that's Kana. Okay, fair enough. And I was like, okay, then that means the Divas match is next, which it was, and she did nothing. I'm like, I expected her to do something because they made a big deal of, hey, look, it's Japanese wrestling sensation Kana. I'm like, cool. She gonna do something?
I will say, this match, I was a little disappointed by the match.
Really?
It was an okay quality match. It was an okay quality match. I mean, it was overall, but I mean, it was pretty good. But when you had moments like when Bayley lifts her up on that top rope, and I see her drop her slightly, then quickly do it again, like she kept botching a couple of times. It was like noticeable times where during the match there was a few botches, not much, but there was a few to the point where I'm like, this wasn't in your last match. Like, I thought their last match was better quality because I felt that just slightly held it down. I don't mean anything bad by that, but like I said, with NXT Takeover, especially with these two, it's sort of like WrestleMania. If I watch a WrestleMania match, I expect it to be WrestleMania quality. When I watch this, I expected it to be Takeover Divas quality.
Fair enough. Although, as you made the point, everybody has an off day, and as you made the point, it's NXT. They're allowed to kind of make some mistakes here because they're learning how to not do that up on the main roster. And yeah, you expect a lot out of them, but at the same time, nobody's perfect, and it was still a damn good match despite that.
Oh, I agree. You should give them some slack for botching. Like, I'm not going to complain about the match. Like I said, overall, it's still an okay match. It's just when I've seen these two do it before, and they've not botched like as much or anything like that, and I'm like, you know what I mean? It's sort of like, why are you having an off day? Whereas like with the other ones where they fuck up, you're like, okay, they haven't wrestled this person before. They're learning to adjust to other people's styles, or this guy's always had a problem doing this. They're trying to learn. This one was like two people who have had a great match in the past, then came out and messed up a lot. Sort of like the reverse of what happened with Randy Orton and Sheamus, where I was like, these two don't normally click in the ring. I'm actually surprised they clicked. Like, I was surprised this match felt a little off with stuff. But like I said, that was just me personally. It's cool if other people liked it. I have no problem with that.
Also, I will give one minor critique to the match also. amazing match. Someone needs to teach Bayley how to sell a hand injury.
She did. She learned from Triple H.
Nice.
I thought she did fine for a while selling it, and then just it got better.
Yeah, pretty much.
It healed.
Yeah.
It's like a video game. As long as you protect yourself, your health bar comes back.
The
barricade's a chest-high wall.
Yeah, she ducked up next to the ring, took cover.
Yeah.
I figured she just, like, someone in the audience cast Cure 1 on her. She's like, yay!
There you go.
I will say, when she damaged her hand, that was a great spot.
Yes.
Not because of the actual spot itself, because I've seen that type of thing before. I know people here won't like this, but I'm going to give props to Corey Graves. When he explained the fact, this isn't like when that's happened on the main roster. We have the LED boards there, so that's your hand smacking into a solid object against them. I'm like, he has a point there. Because I was just thinking, like when the main roster does it and it goes under the ring, and you're like, ooh, that hurt. And he's like, but remember, we have the solid board there, so this won't hurt. This would be like doing it onto another solid object. You're like, oh, that's a point. That would hurt. Ooh, and that made me buy into that a bit more. It's like, that's actually impressive.
Indeed.
But I don't know if anyone else liked that bit element. I assume probably not.
I must have missed that, but
I missed that too.
Cool.
Yeah, it was like straight after it happened. I was like, oh yeah, because you saw the LED board stuff. I'm like, that makes sense. You're using the LED boards for good.
Now, I was really distracted because when it actually happened, Bayley sold it like fuck. I give her credit for that.
Yeah, she did sell it like hell, and I did like that when she did it. I was like, oh, that hurt. And then, like I said, when I saw like the replay, I think it was the replay. It was either the replay or just afterwards when the commentator mentioned it. I went, oh yeah, that's a point. Ooh, that would have hurt more.
Yeah.
It's sort of like in the olden days when you used to see thousands of like pile drivers, but then once the commentators mentioned that was onto concrete, you'd be like, oh yeah. Ooh. But I don't know if Richter felt the same.
Oh, I think it's pretty. I think after Austin, I think people realized it was dangerous enough without the concrete.
To be fair, any move's dangerous, but people always undersell them.
Fair enough.
Any move is dangerous?
Well, almost any.
Okay.
Even the Cobra?
Yeah, I was thinking like Cobra and...
Well, to be fair, I believe, as Marcus mentioned, isn't the Cobra based on an actual martial arts move?
It's basically a snake strike.
Yeah, so if you hit him wrong, that would actually hurt.
Fair enough.
Or if you hit him right, it would kill you.
No, that'd be wrong. He wants his opponents to win. He wants his opponents to go down, but not die.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Mhm.
And I'm just going to say, Cali reference, do it yourself. It's the IKEA of jokes.
It is. I do want to say, since if we're going to talk about Corey Graves' commentary for a minute, I want to say at the end of the match when, or near the end of the match, I don't remember exactly where it was, but there was a point where Corey Graves started trying to like complain about Sasha Banks losing, and he sounded like he legitimately did not give a shit. And I'm like, okay, I get what you're trying to do, Corey, but you're not good at this. We can tell you don't actually give a shit that Sasha just lost.
Fair enough.
Yes, I thought... Yeah. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I think we were about to say the same thing. I really love this match. Like I said, this was my match of the night.
Mine too.
And I don't know, I was a little surprised that, like, with Team Bad in the audience, I'm a little surprised Paige didn't show up because Paige wasn't there at the beginning when fucking Charlotte and Becky was there, and so I was thinking, oh, did they not show Paige because she's actually going to come out during the match or something? And she like never showed up. I'm like, wait, what?
It's probably because Paige is a big enough diva. She was probably doing the autograph signings for like the SummerSlam Access and the Comic Con and stuff they had around there.
Ah.
I realize that may sound disrespectful to the other divas. I'm not saying they're not good divas. I'm just mean more people have heard of Paige, and she does tend to do a lot of the signings.
Yeah. True. She was big enough. She got her own interview with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, like we saw Team Bad. I don't think we saw the Bellas.
Yeah.
No.
Or their team, which means they were probably doing autograph stuff.
Yep, most likely.
Fair enough.
Indeed.
Also, am I the only one who thinks that after this Divas Revolution arc goes through, once they bring Bayley up to the main roster, those four need to get together and actually call themselves the Four Horsewomen? I think that's awesome. I'm like, yes, do that. Like, I'd buy that. Yes, do that.
No.
Yeah, I want to say no, just because then they wouldn't have anyone good to wrestle. As cool as it'd be to see them as a team, it's like, no, they need someone to wrestle against.
No, they have someone to wrestle against. They have Sasha Banks.
She was one of the four horsewomen.
See, I
thought you meant Bayley and Team PCB.
Yeah, see, I was saying no to the Four Horsewomen thing is because if they do that on the main roster and stuff like that, how big were the Four Horsemen?
They were pretty damn big.
That group would instantly be compared to them, and as good as they are, they will always fall flat to how great the Four Horsemen were in their prime.
That is true.
Because that is one of the greatest stables, probably the second best. Or my second favourite.
There you go.
Behind NWO, right?
Behind NWO. Yeah. But in terms of in-ring ability, behind the Hart Foundation.
I can agree with that. Fair enough. Moving along. Let's see, what do we have next here? Let's see. Then we had. We had Triple H's announcement that Mullen joined.
To be fair, I took that as news before he made the announcement because he tweeted about it before the pay-per-view.
Ah, fair enough.
Hence, mine was tweets with hashtags and stuff because I don't think he actually cut a promo with hashtags in the sentence.
Well, you
unless he
didn't
did
watch him. No, I'm kidding.
Unless he did that thing where they take their two fingers on each hand and make a hashtag like all the teens are doing in all these shows nowadays, going, well, hashtag, and then saying whatever they're saying sarcastically.
Please tell me that you made that up right now.
I did not make that up. Let's say
be here anymore.
Let's say they sarcastically apologize. Oh well, hashtag sorry.
I don't want to.
Richter is now in his Professor Farnsworth costume.
I know. Gonna rage quit this plane.
This is the origin of why he became Bane.
This is the origin of why I made the Ivory Tower. Became a supervillain.
Be Bane, Dad, and maybe you'll get lucky and your kid will play for a rival team of Bat-Dad.
You have my permission to win.
Yes.
Yes.
After the other team's chances are in ashes, you may go to Chuck E. Cheese.
That means you have to dress Wife Blade up as she's just Wife Blade, but then oh no, she's actually somebody that you heard of, but she wasn't supposed to be, and it came out of nowhere.
I could see that, but yeah, I like the idea of Bane Dad. I want to see that. Like Richter telling his kids to eat their vegetables or no dessert, but in the Bane voice.
How will you ever have dessert if you don't eat your vegetables, UPS man?
Drops his kid into one of those whirlpools. Now you see, I climbed out of here, but it takes quite the willpower. It'd just be amazing.
Yeah. But anyway, it's main event time.
The Bane at home dad game. I want to say.
Yes. Oh my God! You realize what you did with that? That makes him the bad gamer.
Well, if you listen to Marcus.
Marcus is just jealous of the skills.
You merely adopted the reviews. I was born into them.
I will save this X-Pound.
will say, since we're talking about promos and stuff, Rick,
Uh-huh.
you were right, by the way, just because I will probably have forgotten by tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
When I saw what Raw was sponsored by tonight of Create a Wrestler, I was like, it's sponsored by a mode of 2K16. And then you mentioned the figures, and later on in the night I saw the actual advert with the figures where they put all the limbs together and then dressed them in outfits in the ring, and I was like, they look cool.
They do. It's like, oh, it's a CAW action figure.
It is.
It is.
So are we all going to go buy the Hogan one before it disappears?
Ah. Mole's going to specifically go to every store in the UK until he finds the black one.
Yes.
That was just
Richter goes and buys the Hogan one. He goes to Wife Blade and asks her to sew a costume for the Hogan one of a T-shirt that says "I'm a racist" on it.
She can't sew it. Her hands are crushed.
If anyone's listening, can we please take the sentence where Marcus said he was a racist and just play that right after that comment he made earlier about the white guy? Thank you.
Fuck you.
And if you can, feel free to auto-tune it.
What?
Actually,
He was sat next to that guy. The other white guy. White guy. The other white guy. I'm a racist. The other white guy.
no, I was gonna have her sew two of them.
Amazing.
I'm gonna have White Blade sew two of them, and then I'm gonna go around and make a Marcus Shadow one, and they're gonna be a team.
Wow.
Nice.
Well, he didn't say he hated Asians, so Hulk Hogan would probably team with them.
He would.
True. But anyway.
The Hulkster and this other guy are gonna take on this.
There's no yellow streak running up his daughter. Boom.
Then you take those two figures and you do the storyline and you reveal Marcus Shadow's true intention. Hey, Hogan. Yeah? You do realize how famous you are, right? Yeah. Yeah, watch your back.
Shing!
Yes, I'm gonna work that in as a story.
Yeah.
Threatening notes, and he's just like, "Someone's coming for me because I'm famous, brother." And you're just like, "It's okay, Hogan. I got your back."
Yeah.
It was me, Hogan. It was
It
me
wasn't
all
you.
along.
And in 2K16, are you also going to give Marcus Shadow the White Boy Challenge?
Yes, Marcus Shadow's White Boy Challenge.
Marcus Shadow's the other white guy challenge.
Yes. Until eventually Rick emerges and destroys him. Rock to Bo Dallas style.
No, if I came out though, I would like put up a chair and sit there, and I put my arms up, and he's like, "Wrong challenge." I'd be like, "Oh, okay, sorry."
Yeah.
I'm not masters.
Yeah.
Nice.
Where's the duffel bag of money? He's like, "Stop it."
Nice. Well, I think if you're gonna do that, fine. But then you have to send Andy out as his Teddy Long manager.
No, Kenzo Suzuki.
Kenzo Suzuki, even better.
Or Jimmy Yang Wang.
Jimmy Yang Wang, but even better. I miss Jimmy Yang Wang.
Here you go. I have a perfect Marcus Shadow challenge. Here's a challenge. You get to if you by the end of the night, if you're not famous enough, I won't kill you. By the way, your next match is against The Undertaker. Have fun.
I will beat The Undertaker, and then I will place myself on a high shelf.
Okay then.
Okay, that was the best delayed laugh from Richter. Like it took him a second to understand the joke.
I was just like, I think that's a short joke. I'm just gonna say that was a short joke.
It was a short joke.
joke.
It's like whenever you're pushing him around the supermarket and he's sat in the trolley, you have to grab all the high stuff on. Fact.
well, there you go.
Or to make Richter laugh and simultaneously weep, hashtag fact. And I did the hashtag symbol even though I'm not on webcam.
Okay then.
We're done here. Hashtag we're done here.
Hashtag we're done here.
No.
I need to teach Richter's kids to hashtag.
No,
Oh God.
please don't.
Please don't. But I believe you have,
But
yeah,
anyway,
we've got
the
another
following
match.
is a ladder match for the NXT Championship.
See, this was my match of the night.
Player.
That was a good match.
This
That
was
was
a
a good
surprisingly good match. Yeah.
I thought it did a great job of doing kind of what it needed to. Like, it showed Finn Balor could go toe-to-toe with a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
But at the same time, it also showed Kevin Owens' athletic side up more than what he's normally done.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, that looked brutal when he fell and hit his head on the back of that ladder.
That
Yeah.
was cool.
Yeah.
I was
No,
like,
and also-
I was like, ooh, does he have a concussion? But I realized, wait a minute. Yesterday I watched him at SummerSlam, no concussion.
After seeing that match, I was like, okay, that's probably why he wasn't as good as he could have been in that match. Fair enough.
Yeah, and also-
He's
and also-
fucking hurt.
It also looked pretty painful when Balor dodged and he cannonballed himself into the corner.
He wasn't as good as he could have been in that match because he was against Cesaro.
Hey-o.
Ouch.
And he's a Swiss Superman. He has
And
his
we
own
don't-
section of the audience. You don't get to say that.
And we don't like regular Superman of Cena. So you're saying he's a Swiss Cena?
That is true. That is true.
Yeah,
That means
and also
he's
now,
neutral.
after having seen that
He
women's
is
title
Cena.
match, after having seen the
Well,
women's
I don't
title
think
match, Jesus fucking Christ.
Sorry, go ahead.
As I was trying to say, after having seen that women's title match, I can now understand why Team Bag got eliminated so quick. Because, yeah, Sasha Banks was probably in no condition to actually be doing anything.
Yeah.
To be
Oh,
fair,
God,
the other
fuck
two,
the hell up.
to be fair though, the other two could have been beaten up a lot longer.
Yes.
True. But the thing is, the longer you keep them in the match, the more the fans would expect Sasha Banks to do something when she physically could not do anything.
Yeah, but you have that you have matches like that when people return from injuries and like they're on the tag match on Raw and they wait till like the last couple of seconds to tag that person in so they get all done. Yay, finally!
Yep,
True.
that is true.
But yeah, the ladder match. This is
Yeah.
another one of those matches, like kind of like the Samoa Joe match, where it's like at the beginning of it, I was like, okay, this is probably going to be an okay match, and like I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, this isn't anything too impressive. It's kind of there, but then as the match went on, I was like, okay, this is actually a pretty good match.
I like how he crawled out of the ramp and his title magically appeared there.
I liked his entrance where he like randomly appeared on different sections of the stage. I'm like, wait, what?
Were those
Like,
all
wait, did
him?
Yeah, no, that's
figured
what I was
they had,
wondering. I was
like,
like, wait, did they have Balor clones? Is that how that worked? Because it looked like he teleported around the stage. I was like, what?
Yeah.
They used the people from Cena Banks' entrance.
There you go.
Yes, or
There you
fake
go.
stings.
Yeah.
The fake stings when he was doing the Triple H bit.
I was like, I want that entrance. That's fucking awesome. I want teleport around the stage entrance. That's amazing.
That was pretty awesome. That was awesome.
That was awesome, yeah. I will admit this was the match I was most hyped for on the card, and I will say it was the only match on the card, in my opinion, that lived up to the TakeOver name, and I was like, oh, this is cool. It's not the best ladder match they've had at TakeOver, but it's a pretty damn good match.
That was a damn good match.
I like that first one.
Bo Dallas.
Bo Dallas and wasn't it Adrian Neville?
Nice.
Yeah, that was a fucking awesome match.
Mm-hmm.
But this one was still good. It just wasn't quite as good as that. But that's fair enough. But it was still better than like the few of the world title matches we've had at this event and stuff. And I like it.
Yeah. See, I thought the women's title should have been the main event. It should have been, especially after seeing that. And I think that was part of his coming down off of the women's title match to this. Like going into it, I was like, this is probably going to be a decent match. But man, I do not envy you guys right now having to follow that.
Wait, for a minute ago you said you went into it not expecting it to be a good match until the match progressed.
No, I said I expected it to be an okay match, but I didn't know how good it was going to be because I didn't know how good these guys were going to be with a ladder. And then they started wrestling, and I was like, okay, there's nothing too impressive yet. And then they actually started doing stuff with ladder and, like, actually, getting further into the match. And I was like, okay, these guys are actually pretty good with the ladder. This is actually a halfway decent ladder match. I approve.
Yeah, it was a pretty decent match.
But
Though,
yeah, I always thought that the women's match should have been the time, because I was like, come on, that had like all the requisite like emotion. It was a really really great match. It's like coming from that to this, it's like, yeah.
yeah. It's like, I will say, I don't know if Rick would agree with this, because I know some NXT fans will hate this.
Mhm.
I think NXT should be extended to 2 hours. This pay-per-view, I don't mean any disrespect from this, but it's sort of like when we watched the NXT one first, and we watched the SummerSlam one, and we see the shortcomings of the WWE main rosters one, thanks to that one. I saw the reverse with this, of I reckon NXT should be 2 hours, because the one thing NXT's missing is the storylines to make you care about the match, so they can tell the stories in the ring and develop the stories more.
I could see that.
But I'm not sure if Rick would agree with that, with the idea of extending it to 2 hours just so they could do more storylines and stuff, so they can get used to promos as well when they come up and telling a story in the ring.
2 hours maybe, just because it seems like they have a lot of people, or they have a lot of developmental talent, and I think that a lot of them should get their chance to be on TV to kind of get used to it. But one of the things I liked about NXT, more so several months ago, was that they weren't as storily focused. I know that's not a word, storily, but whatever. Like, I liked the more.
It is now. Rick
it was
has made
just
it so.
matches. Okay, but I like that they were more just entertaining matches that I didn't need, like, because that's one thing I don't like about the main roster is, like, whenever there's a pay-per-view, half of it's going to be fucking promo packages beforehand telling you why I'm supposed to care about this match, and if I didn't see any of it leading up, the, like, abridged version doesn't make me care anymore. I want an entertaining match, because, like, I know I don't usually go back and watch many matches, but if I'm going to go back and watch it, I want it to be entertaining. I don't want to have the story to make, like, that's what makes it better. There are still some good ones with story, yes, but I don't care about those much after the fact, where if I'm going to go rewatch it, it needs to be entertaining on its own, not because of stuff leading up to it.
I can understand that. It does make sense. I'm one of those people that, as much as I want the good quality match, I also want a reason to care why these people are fighting.
Mhm.
It's like, for lack of a better term, like comic books.
Mhm.
Superman v Doomsday was a great fight. I didn't really give a shit because there was no reason for Doomsday to kill him other than he's the Kryptonian killer. Whereas, like, for example, as much as this one may be bad or whatever, for the Marvel when they did Civil War in the comics, I cared a lot whenever they did the fights during that before it went downhill with Clone for. But I cared more about that during the fight because I was like, oh my god, yes, oh my god, I care about why you're fighting. You have a great story here for why this is happening. I can root for someone now. But yeah, like I said, I understand not everyone's like that.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned going into SummerSlam, the match I was most hyped for was Undertaker Brock, and I realized they only did like 4 promos for that. But it was just all story, and I was like, pretty much. Basam and Brawl, I was like, okay. But like I said, that might just be me. On the flip side, I do think Raw should go down an hour.
I can agree with that.
I don't like 3 hours Raw. This
Yeah.
week, awesome. But that's the problem with Raw, is it's either 3 hours of awesome, or it's 2 hours or 1 hour's worth of content spread really thin over 3 hours, so it appears more boring from what it was when you realize and just look at the highlights.
Yeah.
And I know Jim said they got a contract with most countries to give 3 hours of Raw, but they can always flip around that, like cut Raw down to 2 hours and then just give them an extra hour of like some bonus SmackDown matches, or from the vault inserted like we get into ours.
Yeah.
I wish they did from the vault over here. That would be cool.
I like from the vault when they used to do that more. I don't like it now.
How come?
The last time we had from the vault was it was a good Jericho. It was Jericho I think it was CM Punk from Raw in the vault. And I was like, that's awesome. That was a good match. I like this match. Then it cut straight afterwards, and it was Jericho v Big Show in the ring. After, like, well, no, because now you're showing us a matchup with this wrestler where we could see an awesome match with him, and then you're instantly showing us why that one's better than this one, and you've must made this match worse in comparison, because you can't look at that objectively if you've seen both back to back.
Yep.
Whereas if you cut out that from the vault thing and just saw the Jericho Big Show one, I could rate it or judge it on its own merit instead of having to remember all the way back to that match, because it's like, okay, that's a while back. I can judge it by its thing now, but back to back, it's like, no. Mistake.
I can kind of agree with that. I know what Richter and or Jim thought about my assessment of that ladder match following the Divas match. It's like, huh.
I agree. I wasn't sure it was going to be quite as good as the Divas match because that wasn't an amazing Divas match, but they put on a very good ladder match. Because there was some like, okay, this is going to be a decent match, but then it's going to be a decent match, but I don't know if it's going to compare to the Divas match. And then one of the commentators was like, yeah, because I didn't actually see the logo cover or anything, and one of the commentators was like, yeah, Kevin Owens needs to take advantage, just got to get that ladder. I'm like, oh, fuck, right, this is the ladder match. Well, then this is actually good, then. This might actually compare.
Yeah.
Oh, bad. Sorry.
I was going to say, yeah, for me, with it coming off the other one, it was mainly because, like I said, I noticed more fuck-ups with that one. Which it's always a shame, because when you notice fuck-ups in matches, not everyone notices them, but the people that do, it greatly affects the match.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what did Rick think of that assessment?
Kind of like that. I thought the NXT women's match was really, really good. Had some hype as fuck stuff, but so I thought there was going to be, as I think you guys always refer to it, the cool down match or whatever. And then they had like some video package, and then yeah, and then it was like the title match. I was like, oh shit, I thought they were gonna like throw in another one to to wind them down, but I guess not. I guess
because
all the video packages were for that.
Yeah, I feel that kind of hurt the ladder match of it. You gotta follow that. that kind of makes you not look as good by comparison. Because the thing is, it was a really good match, but when I just saw that women's title match, I'm sorry, you're not gonna look as good as that.
Yeah, I could see that. But I still thought it was a good match.
Yes.
I don't think it was as good as the women's match, but I still thought it was impressive. I liked it.
Yeah,
had some really good spots.
I will say, yeah, that is something I have noticed with the takeovers. They don't have that cooldown match.
Yeah.
Ironically, they seem to have structured it in a way where it builds and builds and builds usually. Although occasionally, and I think this is one of them, they end up putting a good match first, then a few little bits of winding down, then build all the way up to the final. Which I'm okay with, because it's like the NXT audience as a whole are more devoted than the WWE ones. Like you'll sit there and you'll watch it and you'll accept it. You won't need the wind down match. Whereas the WWE fans, a load of the main roster fans will need that wind down match so they don't feel, oh, I'm so hyped up now, or they won't be like, I need to go to the bathroom now, or no, I've just used all my energy chanting for the other one. I'm just going to take a rest for a bit.
Yeah. And I will admit, Rick, I had almost the same thought as you, because like when Stephanie McMahon came out and like hyped up the Divas match, and she was like, and this is going to be one of our main events. I was like, oh, okay, so they're going to do this match, and then they're going to do some other stuff to kind of cool down, because this is going to be an awesome match, and then we're going to have the title match, and it's like from there straight into the title match. I'm like, wait, what? Like, what? Oh, I feel sorry for this match. When I realized what they had done, I realized, oh, it's going straight into the actual main event. Oh, I feel sorry for the main event. Because I wasn't like you. I wasn't expecting we're not going to have a cooldown. We're just going to throw the main event to the wolves. I'm like, well, that's great. And I don't know if it's just me, but when I look at who was in the Divas match and then I look at the main event, who's in the main event, I'm like, part of me is like, I just don't expect Kevin Owens to put on anywhere near the caliber of match of either of those two divas. And I'm like, oh god, this match is going to look terrible by comparison just because of this, even if it's a good match. I'm like, oh, that's not good.
I'd like to point out with you that Kevin Owens put on not one, not two, but 3 match of the year candidates with John Cena.
Yes.
Yep. And also his matchup with Cesaro last night, as much as I felt it was the wind down match. You mentioned how amazing it was, and every time you see Kevin Owens, you mention how amazing he is.
He's good. But still, I'm sorry, I really love that Divas match, and just seeing what they did in that match, I'm like, yeah, I don't see Kevin Owens pulling out shit like that. I don't see him going that far to the well. As good as I think he is, I don't see him going to the well like that. Like, those two ladies left it all out there. I was like, wow. And I was kind of right. It still was a good match, and I was like, because they kept hyping up, oh, this is Kevin Owens' specialty, and I'm like, okay, I hope he shows me why. And I'm like, okay, he kind of knows what he's doing in the ladder match. Fair enough.
Yep, and there was less botches in this match.
Fair enough. I didn't notice. All I noticed is I enjoyed both matches. That's what I noticed.
Me too. I thought Owens did a good job of playing to the crowd, though. Like 2 instances. Like when they started the Sami Zayn chant and he was like mimicking the injured shoulder, and I don't know what they thought he was gonna do with the ladder propped up on Finn when he was like up against the ring apron. I don't know what they thought Owens was gonna do. He like ran at it and then just slowed down and punched him. It's like he's not Shelton Benjamin. The fuck do they think he's gonna do?
Yeah, I think they thought he was gonna run up the ladder and like Superman punch him or something.
Yeah, well, see, that's something that I feel Owens has benefited from. Like Richter mentioned then, his time on the main roster. Because like him or hate him, he was working with Cena, who knows how to play a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also worked with Triple H, who like him or hate him, knows how to work a crowd. Mm-hmm. He's learned that from his time on the main roster more.
Mm-hmm.
So when he's fully up on the main roster, which he might actually be now, I'm not sure because he's sort of in that crossover period. But it means he's gonna be good, if that makes sense. Like, there's nothing worse than when someone comes up. I don't mean from NXT in general. I just mean from a developmental thing, and they either don't know how to do promos or they don't know how to like basically read a crowd and treat the crowd right. That's why I called it Shelton Benjaminism, because I liked Shelton Benjamin. I really loved Shelton Benjamin. He sucked on the microphone, and he sucked at playing a crowd. That's why he never went anywhere. But I really loved that dude. Like, watching him in the ring, he was awesome.
Yeah. I agree with that assessment of Shelton Benjamin. I, too, like Shelton. I thought he was awesome. But
I also agree with that assessment.
He definitely had a big streak of botching, though, at one point.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at a certain point he probably went into that phase where he realizes, okay, let's see. I've been the gold standard. I've been this. I've been that. They've had me this person, this tag team, that tag team. And every time I start to get pushed, they put me straight back there. I'm not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
What's the fucking point? The best thing, in my opinion, with Shelton Benjamin was when he was with Charlie Haas and Kurt Angle.
Yes.
Kurt Angle could be a mouthpiece, and they could just go out there and look awesome. Like Shelton Benjamin, imagine if Shelton Benjamin came back and was still exactly like he was, minus the botching period, Rick. Imagine if he came back when he was in his good period. Mm-hmm. And imagine if he was the next Paul Heyman guy.
Mm-hmm.
That problem is instantly solved. And I'm not even a Paul Heyman fan, but I do admit he is good on the microphone when he has to be.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And he could sell the shit out of Shelton Benjamin and make people care about his promos.
Oh yeah.
It's like what he was going to do for Cesaro, and for some reason it went nowhere.
Yep. Or like what he was trying to do to the fuck's his name? Fake Hogan.
Axel.
Yeah, that one. And it went nowhere for good reason.
Yeah. I will say, I don't think it was good when they put him with CM Punk.
CM Punk didn't need him.
CM Punk didn't need him. I thought CM Punk's better on the microphone. And it's like, that's a step back. I'd be like if Brock Lesnar stood on the outside as a valet and had fucking like someone like Heath Slater in the ring to be his muscle.
To be fair, Heath Ledger would also work in that circle.
Yeah, Heath Ledger would work. but like Heath Slater, as much as he's okay and he's fun to cheer and stuff, I wouldn't want to see him as Brock Lesnar's muscle. Like, Paul Heyman shouldn't be the voice for the guy with the better voice.
Yeah, he was the voice for the voice of the voiceless.
Yeah,
he was
but
the voice for Mr. Pipe Bomb. That doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work. It's like there's some people who don't need mouthpieces, like Jericho or The Rock do not need mouthpieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like making The Rock a Paul Heyman guy. It just wouldn't work. Like, no, The Rock could talk you under the table, Heyman. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But Paul Heyman would work for people like I mentioned, like Cesaro.
Yes, absolutely.
He would be awesome managing Tyson Kidd with Natalya
That could be cool.
when he's back. Woo. Imagine if Paul Heyman becomes a Rosebud. Or, the other one that people would want to see more, imagine if Paul Heyman managed Leo Kruger.
That'd be awesome.
No.
Kruger bud.
No one likes Leo Kruger. I like Leo.
He sounds like the Sixth Ranger. Like,
Yeah, I've never seen him, so.
that name sounds pretty cool, but it just sounds like
Yeah.
hella sentai.
The name sounds cool, but yeah, it does kind of sound try-hard.
Yeah, I picture he
Like
like
when
has a
people are
boat
like-
that'll give him powers.
Of course,
Yeah.
well, of course it does.
Oh,
SPD, Doggy Kruger.
Yeah, like when people are
That's his
like,
brother.
oh, this character's badass. We need to give him a badass name. It's like, you don't always need a badass name.
Leo Kruger just sounds like someone Leon S. Kennedy would punch in the face.
Because I put it to you, 2 words that instantly prove you don't need a badass sounding name to be an awesome badass. Die Hard.
That is true.
Because I'm sorry, like when I saw like the U.S. elections over there, and they were mentioned John McClane was running and stuff, I was like, "What? The Die Hard's running?" And when I saw it wasn't him, I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm not gonna fall for that again." Next week, John McClane or John McLean or whatever the hell the politician was called. I'm like,
John McCain.
"Yeah, John McCain." I'm like, "Wait, John McLean? What?" And I lean forward like, "Oh, not Die Hard."
Yeah.
Every fucking time they mention him, like, yeah, people out to see him. I'm like, "Oh, cool, Die Hard." Oh.
That's like when John Edward was running for office. Everybody's like, wait, the biggest douche in the universe? No, the politician, no.
Yeah.
The second.
But I would say John Edwards sounds nothing like Jim Phoenix.
Ha!
James Phoenix for Douchebag Hall of Fame.
Have you ever seen them both at the same place at the same time?
I have not.
Fact.
Just like I have never seen Marcus Shadow and New Jack at the same places.
Okay, that just doesn't even make any sense.
Fact. And that is a fact. I have not genuinely seen them in the same place at the same time.
Yep.
But no.
Well, with how
Overall.
racist New Jack is, that'd probably be the last time you see us in the same place at the same time.
No, he's just racist against white people.
Yeah, yellow people aren't people.
Wow.
That's-
Well then my case still stands. It would still be the last time Mole would ever see the two of us in the same place at the same time. I'd be like, "Yes, sir, Mr. New Jack, sir. Yeah. Have fun. Yeah, I'll be over here."
Yep. Just like Marcus, when you eat that cheese, you're not allowed to say cracker. That's our word. I'm taking that back.
Okay then.
Go ahead, Mr. New Jack. You go and take care of that. I'll just be standing over here trying to determine how famous you are.
Like, if people are listening, I will determine for you how racist Marcus Shadow was. We got to pick him, anything he wanted to do for a radio play, and he chose something where white people are killed. As the symbol is literally a white person with a symbol going around and a line for it.
Hey,
No
to
way.
be fair, Mole, it was your idea.
That wasn't my idea.
His is the DC one.
Yes, it was.
I didn't say do Ghostbusters. You said to me, should I do Ghostbusters? And I said, sure, why not? It's up to you.
Yep.
I never said the sentence, definitely do Ghostbusters.
Fair enough.
Because if it's someone else's choice and they ask me, should I do this? My response is always, it's up to you. It's your thing.
Fair enough. But yes, I
didn't even hear this.
Okay.
I didn't even hear this. I just showed up and I was told we were doing Ghostbusters. I'm like, oh, okay.
Fair enough. I think we've rambled on and tangentialized long enough. Ivory Tower, take us home.
Tangential.
I look at final thoughts first before he does that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to do final thoughts. I remember the format of Richter's show.
Yeah.
Apparently not. Good night, or no, I'm just kidding. Oh, wait, I don't have the, non-live button. I don't have the kill button, so.
If you did, that would have been fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Kill button. That needs to be what you would be named Marcus on your speed dial.
How do you know it's not already?
The kill button. Nice.
All I'm saying, Mole, is keep an eye on your window. Anyway, yes, final thoughts. Go ahead, Rick. Not loud. Yeah. Run into a host.
Okay. So for final thoughts, I guess I'll go first for no reason.
Because you're the most important. And the NXT guy.
Agreed to do. Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Maybe not the best one they've put on, but in my opinion, I definitely thought it was more entertaining than SummerSlam. And I thought it was overall a pretty good show. The match that I thought was going to be the worst wasn't as bad as I thought, and some of the other matches surprised me. So all in all, I thought it was pretty good and definitely worth a watch. So, Mole, what did you think?
I liked the first match and I liked the end match. But besides that, like I said, with TakeOver, I always go into it expecting a certain quality, like you do with WrestleMania and stuff. I felt it didn't live up to that, and I found this one a little disappointing. It's still worth watching, I suppose, but it was disappointing. This is the first time ever where I've actually enjoyed the other one more than this one. Like, I enjoyed SummerSlam a lot more. But that was me.
Okay, Jim.
Overall, I liked the show. Divas match was my match of the night, and the main event ladder match was good too. I liked the tag team title match. Basically, all the matches that I really saw, I liked quite a bit. I thought it was a very good pay-per-view, very strong, and I hope they keep it up because it's just a lot of great content, and it was great to see.
All right, Marcus.
I really love this pay-per-view. I didn't know how good it was going to be. I mean, it's TakeOver, so, as Mole pointed out, I did go into it with an expectation just because it is TakeOver, and, with the other TakeOvers we've done, they've all been pretty high quality. I was like, okay, well, if it's TakeOver, it's got to be at least pretty good. And to me, this one didn't disappoint. It was really good. And that Divas match there, of all the TakeOver matches, Divas matches I've seen, that one I would probably say was probably my favorite, with the possible exception of the first one. They're kind of up there the same. The Natalya Charlotte one, because that was a really good technical match. But this one was right up there because it hit all the notes. It had technicality, it had moves, it had storytelling, it had emotionality, and just it had that big match feel, that main event match feel, and I really love that. And I thought that this takeover was better than SummerSlam. Now, granted, I haven't gone back to watch the other half of SummerSlam.
I was going to say, you fell asleep for like 90% of it.
No, I saw about half of it. But it says it all when takeover is half the half the length of SummerSlam, and so I saw as much of SummerSlam as I did takeover, and I thought takeover was better. And then based on what you guys said about the other half of SummerSlam, I saw like the good half of SummerSlam, so that, yeah. I'm like, wow, well, that was the good half of SummerSlam.
To be fair, the only parts we said were bad on SummerSlam was the Jon Stewart bits and the Intercontinental title match.
Fair enough. But, yeah, no, I really liked TakeOver, and usually, at least from the takeovers that we've done, I usually do prefer the TakeOver pay-per-views over the main event ones. I felt that with the matches on this card, not only were they good, high competitive matches, and like Jim said, a lot of them did surprise me. I was expecting some of them to be not that good, and it's like, oh, this was actually a good match. I also felt that they did do enough storytelling to make you care, because I don't watch NXT. I should, and I don't, so I didn't know really any of the stories going in. Just like the Divas one, the only reason I even knew anything about that is because a lot of the NXT Divas, had recently come up to the main roster for the Divas Revolution, so they constantly mention that stuff, and then with Bayley and stuff like that, and of course the Kevin Owens thing, because Kevin Owens again is up on the main roster. That's the only reason I knew anything about him or about them, about those matches. But when I was watching the matches, they did kind of tell stories in the match of and also with the promos before, obviously that kind of helped build it up a little bit. But just, I think these guys have come a long way in terms of storytelling within a match, because what they did in the match and the stories they told in the match regarding the feuds leading up to it, and you could kind of see with most of these matches kind of what had gone on between the two teams through their actions in the match. I was like, okay, you guys are kind of making me care about the match. And and when that happened, it's like, okay, well, not only is it a good match, now because of what you're doing in the ring, I actually kind of care. This is really good. And I feel that the main roster kind of has lost a lot of that, which is sad, because I think most of the main roster is better at telling a story in the ring than a lot of these NXT people. But the problem is, with the main roster, they don't have to tell a story in the ring, because the story is told for them through the previous month or two. Whereas because NXT is so short that they don't have time to tell that story, or they don't spend a lot of time on that story, most of that story is told in the match and through the match. And I think that's kind of an advantage to the superstars and divas coming up through NXT. Now, I think there should be a healthy, balance there, of maybe you have a couple of storylines that is more story, less matching, so the superstars and stuff can learn how to tell that story in an actual story as opposed to in the ring. But I felt with TakeOver, I got the sense of each of the stories of all the matches that had stories behind it. Like, obviously, the Jushin Thunder Liger, there wasn't really much of a story there, because it was a one-off thing, and it's, Jushin Thunder Liger is coming, and Tyler Breeze didn't like that. Okay, fair enough. You don't have to really much explain that. But a lot of the ones with the feuds, I got the sense of what the feud was and kind of what the story of that feud was and the emotionality behind that feud. So I thought they did all that well, and that made for a really, really entertaining product and a really good special. Back to the Ivory Tower.
All right. So there you have it. Our thoughts on the NXT Takeover, Brooklyn. So thank you everyone for listening. And again, this was a special one. We had one last night for SummerSlam. Feel free to check out, and then come back next Sunday for the this week right now in wrestling. And hope to see you then. Thank you very much, and good night.
Can I mention one last thing? I just thought of something, because nobody mentioned it, neither did I. I don't know if anyone even noticed it.
Mm-hmm.
But when Jim and I were on the other night, on Saturday night, the Fallen Angel happened to be on with us, and I think he was actually watching it. And he mentioned that the Brooklyn crowd at one point said that Full Sail sucks and like isn't the real NXT or something like that. I'm like, really? Like, no.
Yeah, like I mentioned, the crowd wasn't good.
No, the crowd was not good. But I don't know if anyone noticed it, that the crowd like said that or chanted that, because I was like listening for it, I was looking for it, and now that I think about it, I never once heard them say that.
I didn't.
Did anybody notice? All right. Jim, did you notice?
I was trying to. I'll admit, I tried to tune the crowd out because they were just doing stupid stuff all night.
Fair enough. Jim.
I didn't notice it.
Okay, fair enough. I just thought I'd mention it because I remembered Fallen Angel mentioning that, and it's like, oh, I wonder if that actually happened. Fair enough.
It probably did actually happen. It just, like I said, I was tuning out the crowd, and no one, the others may not have heard it. Doesn't mean it didn't happen if you're listening, Fallen Angel.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, it's like, no, fuck you, Brooklyn. No, you don't deserve to say that. But, sorry, Richter. Didn't mean to hijack.
That's fine. That's fine. All right. So, see you next week, everybody.
Peace. And we're still live.